Oh, hey, bitch. Oh, excuse you. Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey y'all, welcome and happy Friday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we basically talk about all things going on in hot topics, and pop culture. So that is a show for you. Definitely stick around because we've got quite a few topics to get into today, including we got a cause of death for Sam Neill. It's out already. Hal Williams is best known for playing Lester over there on 227. He's been Sanford and Son, a lot of shows and movies and stuff over the years, but particularly a lot of TV shows back in the day. He passed away in 91. We also have some tea regarding the Avengers Doomsday. Their runtime has been revealed, and tickets are going on sale next week. They're probably going to be showing at Comic Con, all the other stuff. We'll get into that. Plus, it looks like Xolo Maridueña is back as Blue Beetle. We have a lot of movie news and stuff today because it's a little slow. There's not a lot going on, and I was like, I got to do a show because I ain't doing yesterday. So, there was an onset injury for one of the main actors of God of War. The actor that played Kratos is being replaced. He has to be recast now because of the onset injury. So they're going to be bringing in a new actor because it's gonna be a long recovery for him, and it's going to postpone. It's going to hold up the TV show, not a movie, TV show. We also got some tea regarding a new GI Joe movie being directed and written by Danny McBride. We also got to talk about the Today Show Intruder that came up and busted up in the building, started yelling racial slurs, all kinds of crazy stuff was going on. It's like these people have lost their goddamn mind under this current regime. We also got to talk about Lorde going up against Spotify because they have this new AI feature thing that she's pissed off about, and I guess a lot of musicians should be just as pissed. We got to talk about this controversy surrounding the casting of this new reality show, Special Forces. We also need to talk about Frankie Grande had recently talked about the fact that he's faced a lot of femmephobia from a lot of gay men. So that'll be an interesting debate that we can get into. And we got to talk about RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 11. Season's over. The episode is officially out. We have crowned our winner. And so we'll get into giving our overall thoughts about that and a whole lot more. So before we get to those topics, if you're please do me a solid, hit that like button, smash the notification bell, hit subscribe, hype the channel, do all the things to help this little old show that I have. This little show of mine, we gonna let it shine. Like helping get out there in the algorithm and all that good stuff. Please and thank you. Also, I want to, if I don't say it enough, shout out to all of you that consistently come in here and support the show. I've been feeling a little discouraged as of late because I'm like, why isn't my channel blowing up and all this other stuff? But I've been watching these little YouTube videos and it's like, look, if you're a small YouTube creator, whatever, don't get discouraged. Keep going. And the fact of the matter is, you guys always keep me going because I know, like, if I'm on here and I'm just running my mouth, you all do engage. A lot of people who watch, I love y'all for watching, but I also like the people that come in and engage and spark debate and bring up conversations. That's what we need to do in this little old world because everybody just gets easily offended and upset about shit. And it's like, if you don't have any ill intentions, definitely, I love a debate. I love a great conversation. Come in and let your voices be heard. And now I don't feel like people do enough of that. People are always like, well, for a certain fee, you can give your opinion. It's like, bitch, I don't even charge y'all. Y'all can come in the comments and stuff. I mean, I may start soon once I get a little consistent, be charging you over at that Patreon. But for now, I'm gonna let it be free because I want people to get a taste of what I got going on over there before I start charging the girls. Anyway, Chris said, I'm just gonna pop up. I thought I put a reminder. But yeah, I guess I did just pop up. Pop up Friday. I love a pop up shop. Happy Friday to Onyx. And happy Friday to everyone in the combo and in the building. Let me hit my banner. And let's get right into the mess. So, without further ado, let's get into our first topic, which is Sam Neill. So earlier this week, Sam Neill passed away. Unfortunately, I mean, I liked a lot of movies he was in. You know, I loved him in Event Horizon. Thinking off the top of my damn head. Of course, we love him in Jurassic Park, the very first one. Like that was like one of his most iconic roles. But he's been acting for a long time. Also, I told y'all a couple of weeks ago, I maybe been 2 weeks before he passed away. I happened to be on, or maybe it was a week ago. I was on Tubi and I was watching In the Mouth of Madness because I ain't never seen it. And I remember he was in it and I watched it. And even though the movie wasn't perfect, he was good in the role. So Sam Neill is definitely like one of the great ones that we unfortunately have lost. And everybody says that whoever encountered him or worked with him, that he's a relatively nice guy. But we now have a cause of death. I'm like, damn, that worked quick when it comes to that, but they say he died of pneumonia. This is according to his agent. So the BBC reported that Philip Grint, Neill's longtime agent, decided to reveal the cause after speaking to the actor's family in order to correct inaccurate and outright falsehoods in the media. Now, Neill, who died on Monday in Sydney, Australia, at the age of 78, has been battling a form of blood cancer since 2022, but revealed in April that he was cancer-free. Now, in the announcement, Neill's family said that his death was sudden and unexpected. So it could have been, from what I hear, like I don't know if he did chemo, whatever the case is, but I know when you're battling cancer, you leave your body open, especially if you're doing chemo, whatever the case is. Your immune system is not as strong as, you know, it once was before you end up with cancer, HIV, or whatever type of autoimmune disease or whatever it is that you're battling with inside of your body. So it could have been that, yeah, he was cancer free, but him trying to fight off any kind of little sickness that may have encountered him, whether it's pneumonia, a cold, or whatever the case is. Sometimes when them cells ain't strong enough to be fighting off certain things. So that's probably what caused the sudden death, even after he was cancer free. Because you got to be careful out here when you're around people, or especially when you got all these little viruses and stuff running around. Like in America, it's a mess right now. Like we have crazy ass smog coming from freaking Canada that's been hovering over New York for the past couple of days. It was hard to breathe outside. Plus, on top of that, the hot ass air. And then you got like parasites ending up in the fruits and the vegetables. Like, so if you eat any kind of salad, whatever, you're going to be shitting yourself for days. Like, there's so many things going on right now. We got the CDC and all these other things getting regulated. It's just a mess out here. And when we have a regime that puts profit over the lives of human beings, you got to be careful what's going on out in these damn streets and try to survive this mess until these motherfuckers get out of office. But anyway, so it says, as Sam Neill's longtime rep, I spoke with his family and wished to clarify some details for his fans. This is what Gren said in a statement. Sam passed away from pneumonia. Prior to becoming sick, Sam has valiantly fought and beaten lymphoma through a new treatment called CART therapy. Now, Gren's added that in the past year, Neill had filmed 4 projects back to back, all of which will be released within the coming months. That's crazy. That the fact that even when you're sick, you're out there acting. I'd like to thank those who were truly close to Sam for considering his privacy with the respect he earned and the loved ones need and deserve during this immeasurably difficult time. Now, Neill's cause of death, being pneumonia, was first shared on Tuesday by his fellow New Zealand actor Rima Tawaita, who co-starred with him in 2016's Hunt for the Wilder People. They said, it really sucks, actually. Tawaita told the New Zealand Herald, I think he would be like, for goodness sake, I got over my cancer, and now look, now I get pneumonia. What next? Neill's ex-girlfriend, Australian journalist Laura Tingle, also told Sydney Mornings that he had been pretty sick for a couple of weeks leading up to his death, saying he'd been fighting various forms of cancer for at least the last 5 years intensively, and that takes a toll on anyone's body. Absolutely. I mean, cancer takes a lot out of you. Like people don't realize like what what cancer does to the body, and then dealing with a lot of the chemo and everything. It's like it takes so much out of you, and it's just like you keep getting all these little. It's like your body just doesn't have the strength. So it's sad to hear about this is the way he passed. But then they also said he had a lot of chemo and a lot of immunotherapy, and thankfully, it had finally cleared him of the blood cancer that he'd had, but it left him pretty compromised in terms of his immune system. And I think his poor body sort of got a bit exhausted. See, that's what I said. It was like when you're busy fighting off these cancers and you're dealing with chemo and all these other experimental drugs that they said he was taking, the CAR, is CAR, it's actually pronounced CAR dash T. I guess it's cart carty. I mean, I don't know. But all these different experimental drugs and everything, you have to realize like your immune system has been compromised. You gotta, you've left your body pretty much vulnerable that anything could just sneak up in there at any time. And then when you're sitting there trying to fight off another thing after your body just got finished fighting off these cancers and all this other stuff, your immune system is just a mess, and it takes a long time for that to recover, and your body just is tired, and it's like I just don't have any more to give because cancer is no joke. So shout out to you, Sam Neill, one of my favorite character actors, and shout out to your family. And I know it's never easy to deal with somebody who has cancer because I've had people who have died of cancer. My grandmother passed away of cancer, and I think it was colon cancer or something or another, that she may have passed. I think she passed away and this was like a month after 9/11. So not 2001 was a hot ass mess. It was like we had 9/11. We had Aaliyah passed away, 9/11, and my grandmother died of cancer. So it was just that was not a great year for me in a lot of ways. So I could totally understand where you're coming from with this. So yeah, shout out to your family and rest in peace, sir. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding we finally know the cause of death for actor Sam Neill? Whatever your thoughts are on this matter, let me know in the comments down below. We are witnessing a whole country getting canceled right now. Latinos have been saying it this whole time. Wait, who's the country getting canceled? I mean, canceled. What I miss? Wait, what's the thing? What's going on? I was like, what I miss? Yeah, Sam Neill definitely did age like fine wine. He looks, he looked it. How do you say it in the hood? He looked it good. But anyway, don't cry for me, Argentina. You mean them racists that live out in Argentina? 2003 was another shitty year. Lost my aunt in a car accident, the Iraq War, and a horrible Shut up. Not the horrible American Life album. How dare you? Um, but yeah, sorry that you lost your aunt in a car accident. Yeah, the Iraq War was an unnecessary situation, kind of like the war we're in now with Iran. And shame with the American Life dig, but that was funny. Yeah, Argentina, you're a piece of shit. Fucking racist. Anyway, let's get back into the show. And unfortunately, we got another death to talk about on the show. We got Hal Williams, who was a well-known actor in the Black people space and also in a lot of TV shows and things. Hal Williams, who I know better as Lexter, you know, um, Mary husband over there on 227, passed away at the age of 91. So a rep for Williams told Deadline that the actor died on the morning of Wednesday, July 15th, at his home in Rancho Mirage, California. Williams, who was born Halroy Candace Williams, was born in Columbus, Ohio in 1938. Though he would not pursue acting until his 30s, he loved playing pretend at a young age, saying, quote, I wasn't allowed to leave the yard often, and I had a dog named Sandy. I used to play games with him pretending he was the Lone Ranger and I was Tonto, he told Columbus Monthly in 2022. He worked as a social worker, correction officer, and postal worker, but by 1968, with his marriage failing, he decided to head west to LA. He said, I sat down after getting divorced and said, what do I really want to do before the maker comes and gets me? And it was acting. So I took the plunge and drove to California in 48 hours. He told Get TV. I gave myself 3 years. Now, and he made it work. In 1972, he was cast as Officer Smitty Smith on Sanford and Son. He appeared in 20 episodes of the beloved sitcom. His character, a police officer, was paired up with Howard Platt's Officer Hoppy Hopkins, who was white and often the butt of the joke, saying, quote, they used to tell us they didn't have anything to do that week and to go make up some lines. Williams reminisced about the show in a 2022 interview with Telltale TV. So I would go with Howard to a hot dog joint or a hamburger place, and we sit in the parking lot. He would want to know how to incorporate black slang, black jargon and stuff. They take what they came up with back to the producers who'd incorporate it into their scenes. That was a fun show. This is what he said. He was also cast in the drama series The Waltons as Harley Foster on the short-lived 1975-76 ABC sitcom On the Rocks. Since they were recurring roles, he could balance them at the same time. Later, Williams appeared in the 1980 film Private Benjamin, which I absolutely love that movie with Eileen Brennan and Goldie Hawn. Oh, that's like one of my favorite movies from back in the day. And they said he would balance them. Wait, he also appeared in the sitcom that the movie inspired, which aired from 1981 to 1983. Then in 1985, he was cast alongside Marla Gibbs on 227, a sitcom about the residents of an apartment building in D.C. A young Regina King played his daughter in her first TV role. The show also starred Jackie Harry and Sandra Clark. Their young neighbor, Williams' character, initially didn't exist, but Gibbs didn't want to play a single mother. She said it was a family show and anybody could watch across all color lines. This is what he said in a 2011 issue of Entertainment Weekly. Those shows have proven to be my detriment at times, he admitted to Antenna TV in 2019. People don't realize that I'm a serious actor. I've always tried to keep a foot in both camps, but it's hard to fight the pigeonholing that goes on. But in all those comedies, you have to remember one thing. I wasn't a funny guy. I was a straight guy in all the madness. So I was like, yeah, while he was someone who saw himself as a serious actor, but they put you in a lot of these comedic parts or these comedic shows, whatever the case is, you were always playing like the straight man. So you always played it serious while all this crazy stuff was happening around. So in a way, you kind of were playing a serious role. I understand like a lot of actors want their career to go where it's supposed to go, but when roles, especially for black people, are few and far between, you take what you can get. And if your career was leaning you more or less into the comedy space, then it's like you just do what you got to do to keep them, to keep the roof over your head and the lights on in your house. Now, other roles for Williams included appearances on the Sinbad show Moesha and a Black Lady sketch show. He also appeared in a handful of films, including 1979's Hardcore, 1990's The Rookie, and 2012's Flight. Now, looking back on his long career, he told Columbus Monthly, I've prided myself on choosing a profession where you don't have to stop working, you just get older as you work. Well, I think that's, if you're a man, you could do that. It's harder for women. So, but I get what you mean. Now, he also shares 3 children with his first wife. So, shout out to you, Hal Williams. And it was interesting. Like, I didn't know a lot of this about like his career, whatever. I mean, I knew of a couple of shows here and there because mostly it was like, um, 227 because I grew up with that show being on. That was the show that I resonated with the most, and I knew him from. And Private Benjamin. Now with the Waltons, that was way before my time. On the Rocks was before my time. A lot of the other projects that he was in. And of course, Sanford and Son. Like I always watched the reruns when it was on TV. Especially like when you from a black household, yeah, a lot of the old shows with Sanford and Son and the Facts of Life and Different Strokes and all those shows were on my TV screens. We all sat and watched the old TV shows, and that was the one thing I guess when it comes to cable. The great thing about cable is that when they needed a lot of programming to fill up those slots, they put a lot of the old movies and old TV shows. So, of course, my generation, you have the Gen X and elder millennials and even millennials. We grew up in that sense of having to watch a lot of these old shows coming up because, like I said before, they had to. When you have cable TV, the invention of cable, they had to fill up those slots with a lot of shows. So you have Nick at Night, you have all those other things. This is how I was able to watch a lot of these old shows when they were on the air. Because when 227 came on, what was that, like 85? What I said? Hold on, when did 227 come out? Because and well, Sanford and Son came out in 19, I wasn't even born yet. That's 1972. Um, where to go? Where to go? Oh, 85. I was an infant when that movie came. I mean, when that show came out. So of course I'm not gonna remember what went down in 1985. So yeah, reruns, all other stuff. So shout out to you, Hal Williams. Rest in peace and condolences and all that good stuff. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Hal Williams, another legend in the world of television, lost? But look, 91, you lived a good damn life. I mean, fingers crossed I get to live beyond 91. Look, when I start losing my memory and I have to require and I have to resort to wearing Pampers and I can't go to the toilet and shit on my own, I don't want to live on this earth. Like, take me the fuck out. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Argentina pissed all the UK off saying we own. That's what I said. Like, to me, it's like Argentina with all this racism. Somebody, you own the British. Shut the fuck up. And then on top of that, with them dropping the N word on black players, it's like y'all could all fall in a bag of dicks with blades coming out of them. Anyway, there'll be no crying for Argentina anymore. They're playing in the World Cup final, and suddenly, well, you better be a fan of my people. Shout out to Spain because we want them to win. I love that seeing the UK to make it to the end, but it is what it is. Isn't Madonna? Yes, Madonna is performing at the World Cup alongside Justin Bieber, right? And isn't Shakira also performing? Yes, the Biebs. We haven't seen Justin Bieber out here in these streets except for Coachella. That's the last time we seen him. Shakira's touring. Madonna's popping up places. I think she just did another pop up somewhere. What was it in London? You said some players from ARG held up a banner mocking England, and FIFA is just letting them play because it's Messi's last season with them, and that's a top priority for some reason. Yeah, they definitely are kissing Messi ass. Messi being messy. Oh yeah, you said Brenda Fricker. Ben Fricker passed away. I said, damn, Chris, we drinking them Red Bulls, throwing it back. Look, and the funny thing is, I need energy because I had this Red Bull and I had my coffee. Well, I already finished the coffee. So let me tell you, I can't wait until y'all start bringing these prices down. I went to the store earlier because I needed something to eat, so I bought me a breakfast and I bought me dinner. And from when I calculated the prices, everything was copacetic. Then on top of that, I bought two 20-ounce Red Bulls and a coffee. How that shit come out to damn near $40? Like, what is going on? Why is everything so expensive? But I mean, I'm with you when you right. They very much mirror Israel in a lot of ways. There's also a burger place called Big Full and Hard. Oh, I like them full and hard, yeah. He's an underrated actor. He was great. R.I.P. Hal Williams. Um, he's so annoying. And then on top of that, he told me he gonna show up at the finals. Why that man always got to show up places that he ain't that he's not wanted at? So you just literally trying to make everybody's life a living goddamn hell. And of course, he still don't get it because the dementia, that mind bad. I am, but I ain't gonna see it till Wednesday. Like I would normally, y'all already know. I go to the movies every Friday. Um, but yeah, I looked at the tickets for the Odyssey. Like I'm not trying to see it in no regular theater. It's not intended to be seen there, so I'm not gonna go see it. I looked at all the IMAXs, I looked at the Dolbys, and I even looked at the 70 millimeter one that they're showing in as well. All of them was sold out. I don't sit in the front. The last time I sat in the front for a damn movie, actually I was gonna say it was two times. Underworld Evolution, I bought a ticket to sit in the front. I was like, oh hell no. So me and my friend got up, left, went to a different movie theater, bought a ticket again, even though I wasted my money and I was bad. bought a ticket again, went to a different movie theater, and we went and saw it and had a good time. The first time I ever sat in the front, I was like, never again. Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and that movie was already terrible. So to sit in the front and have to watch that movie on top of that movie being bad, that was the last time I ever sat in the front row to watch a damn movie. I'm not some of these people that y'all be theater hopping, y'all will sit in the front. I'm like, it's not that serious. Like, take your ass home or whatever. Maybe they don't have a home. That's why they do that. But I'm not. So the next time I'm going to be able to see the movie, I did get a ticket because IMAX, I guess, is just inevitable at this point. It's like anytime I try to get a good seat, I can't find one. So I'm gonna go see it at Lincoln Center on Wednesday in Dolby. I'm like, look, I'll settle for Dolby. Surround sound, it's still gonna look good on the screen. I'm not too mad. So I'm waiting until Wednesday to see the movie. And then I guess after the fact, I'll come back and let y'all know, you know. Mm-mm. Well, Trump likes playing that mess. I know you don't care about football or geography history, so I'll stop bombarding you. I do got a lot of coworkers that are deeply invested in this whole, World Cup thing. The upper middle seats are the best. Yeah, that's what I always do. I always do upper middle. If I do, because if you've ever been to Lincoln Center, well, Lincoln Square, the IMAX is like the IMAX and Lincoln Square got their own floor. So literally is their own floor. They got their own concession and everything. So I like going in there. It's a huge screen or whatever, but if I can't do that, I do Dolby. And Dolby has two floors. I always do the upper floor because then I get to get the back. So I got a ticket for the last row in the middle because I hate sitting on the ends. Sailor Mermaid did that shit, had us sitting on the goddamn end watching some The Devil Wears Prada too. And I let him slide with that. But I was tight. I was like, I don't sit on no end. I like a middle seat because I like to get everything in my peripheral. Look, he ain't in here, so he can't hear me. But yeah, that got me. I was like, really? I was like, I don't sit on no end. I like a center seat. But whatever. He got the tickets. I wasn't complaining. And he said, I sat in the front row to watch Frozen with my cousin and aunt when I first came out. As for the Odyssey, I saw it being promoted on the pirating website. Well, I'm like, Chad, you could have just watched the All Star finale with me over on Patreon, even though I did read your comment. I saw the comment, so I know you watched it. Well, I hope you watched it. We said, Lord, that's why I said, I'm like, $40. I did the math. What the fuck is the $40? I know I should have just got a water. How do people sit in the damn? I don't know how they do that because my thing is I gotta look back like this. My eyes be hurting. I can't. I can't. I don't like being convenienced in that way. If I gotta make myself uncomfortable in a certain, no, I'm not doing all of that. And plus, the Odyssey is 3 damn hours, so I need to be comfortable. And at least if I go into the Dolby, they got reclining seats, so I can get comfortable. I can stretch out. And so I got it planned out because that Wednesday I'm gonna just go see the movie. It's gonna be 3 hours. It's an 11 o'clock show, which means the movie gonna start at 11:30 in the morning. It'll be over by like 2:30. Yeah, 2:30 ish. And after that, go to the gym workout real quick, and then I gotta work this damn Fish concert over at the Garden. So people think with Nolan films we need intermission. I don't know. I like when things run through. It's the same thing like when I have things about my coworkers whenever we do certain concerts and they want to do intermissions. Like, can you just do the concert all the way through? So we could go to fuck home. Like, we don't want to be here all night while y'all take a 30-minute intermission. And Fish is gonna do that next week. And I'm like, oh God, whatever. But that's why we love Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi start at 7:30, be done by like 10, run through. They don't have an opening act. They don't even have like intermissions. Just go. The only thing I'm mad about is that Richie Sambora is not a part of the group anymore. And I know they had their little drama, but It is what it is. That's why I want you to react to Latina Royale and Down Under versus the World. You're about to be a new pirating. Yeah, that's what I was thinking I was gonna do. But here's the gag. I gotta hit up my friend, and I just spoke to him earlier because I use his Wow Presents Plus, and the only way I do it is I use my phone, the air tag or the airdrop, to watch it on my TV. But I'm like, I need your password so that way I could put it on the internet situation and watch it the way I just mirrored it with the Drag Race All Stars finale. So I got to do that. Wait, hold on. Because I have this other thing open. We said, OMG, imagine watching RuPaul's drag show in IMAX. Can you imagine? Did you like Inception or did you think it was overhyped? I like Inception, but I liked a lot of the effects and stuff in it. I'm still trying to understand what the fuck was going on in that movie. I'm still confused. Maybe I think if I watched it now, I would understand it a little bit. Tenet, I thought was overrated. I did not like Oppenheimer. I thought that movie was boring. That's why I only watched it once. So I like Christopher Nolan, but like I told y'all, one of my really good friends. See, it's funny how like my close friends happen to be straight guys. One of my really close friends, Esteban, is obsessed with Nolan. Anything Christopher Nolan puts out, he loves. Me, I'm a Denis Villeneuve guy. So anything Denis put out, and that's because at least when he makes like these smart movies, I feel like it's palatable enough that you could really get into it and understand it. Like I love his Blade Runner 2049. I love his Dune movies. Can't wait for Dune 3. Arrival, I love that movie. Was that he's made so many really good films. To me, he's my Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan, I do be thinking is comes across as very pretentious in a lot of what he does. But I am curious to see what this Odyssey movie is about. So I'm looking forward to it next week and I'll give my review. It's a 15-minute animation because some people will take a shit in public. Oh, they all do that, which is gross. I don't know how people go and take poops in public bathrooms. I cannot. Unless it's like a real emergency, and I've had those before. It's like, oh, I got bubble guts. Let me go to the family bathroom. Like we got little secret restrooms and stuff around in the building that I be going and taking my little quick situation. Speaking of which, um, I did. You know whose concert I did the other day that I was like, never again. I did Alex Warren's concert. Some of them people that was there, y'all need some damn y'all need some home training because a lot of these people like trying to tell me. One lady's like, "Oh, I'm almost done," because it's like in the middle of a concert. Here's the thing that is a pet peeve: do not take the time in between a concert because you're making it about yourself. Y'all want to put y'all flash on. You want to do whole photo shoots on the step so that way you within the eye line of the show to let everybody know you at the nobody gives a fuck. No shade. And another thing, if people are watching the show, have be considerate of those around you. So like, oh, it's not that big deal. It's a mother and a daughter. Okay, you could have took your pictures during the intermission, the changeover when Noah Cyrus was the opening act. When she was done with her performance, that's when y'all do y'all little snaps and photo shoots and all that other stuff. You don't do it during the show because all these people paid a lot of money to come see these artists. Don't play with me. Cause I'm like, I don't give a damn. Move in. Go give me attitude. There's always these fucking Karens. He said, I know that's right. I ain't taking no shit in public. That's why I said, unless my stomach is like, ooh, somersault. That's what I said. I was gagging when I said, wait, I only know one song from him, and that's Ordinary. I was shocked that he actually sold out the garden. Not you saying did Madison Beer. Well, I would have to ask. I'm like, did Madison, because I think, you know what, when I go to work tomorrow, I'm going to ask because I'm working on the WWE. So I know somebody that actually worked it. I'm like, did Madison Beer sell out? Because I don't. Because I'm like, yeah, I wasn't. I didn't work her show, so I don't know. But I was actually shocked. And first of all, child, that music. I said I really want to blow my brains out. It was literally like human melatonin. That music is so boring. But okay. Your career. Are you even at home for a day or two, or are you at a hotel? Wait, what? He said, "Are you even at home for a day or two, or are you hotel and hotel type lifestyle?" I am confusion with your post. You said, "Am I? I'm." Can you imagine? I could never. Number one, paying to go to like hotels are expensive in New York. Anyway, in hell, I would spend it. And you know what? Funny enough, I have a lot of my coworkers that be like, "Well, if y'all want us to work this, and this, y'all at least should pay for our hotels." We've had people. I've had coworkers that have said that because I'm like, in the city, these hotels. And I remember one time before an ex friend, because we don't speak no more. Now he act like his shit don't stink. Now that after I convinced him to move to New York, because he lived in Texas for a while, and he would always come to New York to visit. And when he would come down here, yeah, we would hang out, whatever. And I remember he used to stay at a hotel in Midtown Manhattan. I remember one time I met him up in the hotel. I'm like, this is a walk-in closet, and you paid how much for this damn thing? Like the hotel rooms ain't big enough. They overpriced. I think the hotel was like in the West 50, or like it was like literally a Hell's Kitchen, like in that area. It was not too far from where the old XL was, which was like the out New York City hotel, if that even makes sense. So that was like I think it was called the Row. When I went in there, I'm like, this little ass room and you paying all this money? No. Like I said, I just remember any thoughts on the backlash your workplace is facing for category. I don't even know what to like. When I read it, I'm like, really? Is this true? I mean, I heard that MSG is suing Wired for that post, for that article. I don't know because it's weird. I'm like, do y'all have people categorized? I hope not, because we do have trans and non-binary people that work at the garden. I know one of my coworkers who is, I think there's quite a few trans girls that works at the job. I've seen someone who I think when I've looked at them comes across as non-binary is literally like it looks like a dude, but he wears skirts, he wears the heels. Like times I'll be seeing him one time, I think when I was on the floor working like Celebrity Row, he's walked past I'll put they because I don't know how they identify. They walk past wherever. So we do have LGBTQIA people that work at the garden. I don't know necessarily whether or not they discriminate. I know that is something they ain't supposed to be doing. But in this day and age, I would not be surprised by anything going on at the garden. So I don't know. But this whole queer targeting queer performers, that's crazy. I'm like, if this turns out to be true, I'm gonna have to see like now if the MSG is suing Wired. Now, if Wired comes out and says that we have concrete evidence that proves that MSG has been doing what they've been doing, then I'm like, oh god, this is not a good look. So we'll see how this all holds up if now that MSG is suing. This looks bad on the company. I had this annoying as 6'4" stand in front of me and my ethel cane. You know what? I feel bad for people who have to deal with stuff like that when it's like height situations. Because especially at the garden, I be seeing people on the floor and it's like, but the guy is too tall and I can't look. So they be like, or I remember when I worked the Lana Richie concert, there was this couple who, and the worst part is it's the older people because you know they can't stand up for a long period of time, so they get mad when the people in front of them wants to stand up and dance. So a guy came up to me and was like, because I was working in the section behind the sound booth where they make sure all the sound and everything is working well for the artist or whatever the case is. So we have a lot of kill seats. So I was nice enough to move them down, and he was just like, well, we have we want to, me and my wife, we like to dance, all this other stuff, but there's people that's complaining. I said, look, we can come over to you and tell you that, can you sit down because you're disrupting people's thing? But the reality is y'all paid all this money for this ticket. Technically this is your seat. We can encourage or we can tell you, but it's up to you whether or not you want to sit down. I'm not gonna force somebody to be like, can you sit down because so and so behind you can't see. Mind you, we got big old screens everywhere that y'all can look at. And it's no shade. But if people want to come in and have a good time and dance, as long as they're not in the way, people should be allowed to sit and have a good time and get into the music. And Whoopi Goldberg was at that show too, along with Jalen Brunson. But yeah, I do be feeling bad when y'all be having them giants standing in front of y'all. It's like, I can't see. Alex Warren comes from the hype house era of YouTube. Did he? Because I remember when that Ordinary song came out and the record label was telling him that don't put that song out and it's not going to work or whatever the case is. And he was talking about how he and his wife had, lived out of the car and how he lost both his parents and all this other stuff. And the song, he put the song on TikTok and it didn't go anywhere. And then his wife encouraged him to put it on BookTok, and that's where it blew up. So um he probably was hyped up and stuff, but it took him a long time to get where he gets. They're suing Wired magazine for defamation and other stuff. You said, but the Hype House was 6-7 years ago. That's pre-COVID internet, and he wasn't even the biggest name in the group. There's no way that fan base stuck around, just like they didn't for Addison. Yeah, that's why I'm like, it's so weird, like how he has this big fan base. And yeah, I do agree that he is definitely popular with soccer moms because we had a lot of those types, a lot of the Long Island, a lot of the Jersey people, a lot of families, a lot of kids. And the weird part about it was he had that whole soccer mom family situation, and he was cussing like a damn sailor up in there. So, and I'm like, what's her? Your mouth. And all these kids in here saying, hearing you fuck this and shit and all this. I'm like, all that potty mouth. How long you been working and doing the security? LOL. Child, I've been at how long? 3 years I've been at MSG. Yeah, I heard that she confirmed the relationship, and people are mad about her being a look. Let Ariana Grande live her damn life. I don't know why people mad at her over who she want to spread them bony ass legs for. When I'm starting to realize artists that have a young teenage fan base usually never stick around for that long because their entire audience grows out. Yeah, and we had Miley's sister. But it was funny because everybody was like, Noah Cyrus. Why that name sound familiar? Is that Miley's sister? I'm like, yes, that's Miley's sister. That is Miley's sister. Her music was kind of boring too. And she came out with this cliched shit too. Like she had this gown on where it had lights on it. And then she came out with this lantern, like she was about to hanging on a boat and start singing Shallow by Lady Gaga. If you know, you know, from the Mayhem Ball. That's what it was giving when she came out and started singing her little sad songs. I always try to get this to the stage. So I was very close to Chelsea Wolfe and Slater when I saw them. But you have to get there 2 to 3 hours early. Oh, you're talking about you was in the pit? Because yeah, when you get to the pit or half pit, because funny enough, Alex Warren had a half pit too, which I was shocked by the fact that he had a half a pit. But okay. So yeah, the pits and stuff. Yeah, you definitely got to get there early. My thing is, I don't like the whole pit situation. I mean, I don't mind standing up and seeing a concert, but when it comes down to the pit thing, I'm like, I don't want to have to come and get early to get to that spot because then I want to drink or I got to go to the bathroom and then I'm gonna lose my spot. But then again, I wouldn't be all that upset because as long as I could, I like situations where I could move around at any time. So I don't like being that close to the to the stage. Even someone like Doja Cat could be an example of this. Her fan base wasn't entirely chronically online teenagers, but they did make up a large portion. It also doesn't help that the music. Well, funny enough, Zach Campbell would probably disagree with you because on he has this podcast with two other homosexuals, and I forgot what the name of it was called, but they was talking about a lot of stuff. First of all, they was talking about Madonna's Confessions album, which I rolled my eyes at the other two queens up there because they talking about we don't know any of Madonna's music. We don't listen to her stuff. They only knew what they said. I think they said they only knew Vogue or they knew only one of her earlier songs. And Zach Kimmel was going hard for Madonna because he said that's his, they both from Michigan or whatever the case is. But then they started getting, well, first of all, they told about Hillary Duff's tour, which I don't know if Robert gonna like what they were saying about that damn tour. But They was about Doja Cat because it was about like not every artist will be able to reinvent themselves like the way Madonna has, but they did throw, and I don't know if you probably will or will not agree, but they would say up in there pretty much saying that they don't think that they think Doja Cat is one of those girls that can constantly reinvent herself with every album. But then I said that may be the case. She is reinventing herself with every album. However, comma, the numbers aren't there regarding the reinvention, because nobody is listening and checking for Doja Cat. Like her music flops with every record that comes out. That last one, V, child, who was listening to that? I don't know how well the tour is doing. Maybe the tour is doing well. I've been checking them numbers. Maybe y'all could Google Schmoogle and let me know how the numbers is doing over there with the tour. She's supposed to be coming to Madison Square Garden in December. I think that might be her last, like she's closing out the show. But yeah, people are not checking for her like that. I mean, I applaud her for taking risks and doing different things with her music, but no shade, nobody cares. Kind of like Lizzo. And shout out to my friend Daniel Narcisio who was giving Lizzo some damn advice because he was saying like she wanted to sit and blame every goddamn body for why this album is flopping. He said that you need to be taking a page out of he can't stand Madonna, and that's why because he talked about like I guess people have worked with her and they say she is not the nicest, which is why I don't want to meet her. But basically, he was saying that Lizzo needs to take a page out of Madonna's hand, but why aren't you everywhere? Why haven't you done the come down to Fire Island and done the Ice Palace? Why? I mean, when everybody else ain't checking for your music, everybody knows pander to the homosexuals. They'll be the ones that will stick around for and support you when everybody else pretty much is abandoning you. So why hasn't she done the Ice Palace? Why hasn't she gone around promoting herself on different gay establishments and gone to the clubs and do all these other things? You sitting up in there just waiting for radio and algorithms to push your music out there. Oh, bitch, you need to pound the pavement. You need to get out there and you need to get people interested in your music and promote it that way. If you say your music is so good, if the label is not going to do what needs to be done, you hanging up posters in the middle of Los Angeles and some damn Daisy Dukes and your damn titties down to your ankle, that's not enough to get people hyped up for your music. When I hear hype house, I'm like, is that a new type of house genre? I have a feeling Doja will go independent because she always been an internet artist since the early. And you know what? She has a big fan base that she could go independent and they'll come out and support her. I don't think she needs the backing of a label because honestly, um, I don't think that the labels understand what to do with the likes of a Doja Cat. So I do think going independent is the best route for her. I mean, am I lying? I saw someone say this about Ariana dating history that makes me bust out laughing. She moves like a. I mean, her brother is a homosexual, so maybe that she definitely has that that thing about her. She moves like she moves like a gay man. True thing. I mean, who was the worst in regards of playing relationship hopscotch? Ariana Grande or Jennifer Lopez? I should start a poll. Hold on a second. Let me see. Can I create a poll? First of all, I gotta see where. Look, this is no shade, but this shit we doing here right now is way more entertaining than these damn topics. Create question. Who um should I put who moves like a gay man? Okay, so it says so I put who moves wait, who wait, that don't make sense. I put who moves a gay man? Wait, who no, I gotta change that up. Which artist plays relationship hopscotch? That sounds way better. So, can y'all see it? Let me see. Can I take this out? That's a comment. Hold on. Because I don't know if I can see it. Media answer. That is not it. Yeah, so I have which artist plays relationship hopscotch? Ariana Grande or Jennifer Lopez? Put some ones and twos in the chat. Look at us being messy over here. Anyway. Oh yeah, so Shadows Girl says, yes, I was in the pit. The one that disowned her mom over who she's married to. Ari and Ethan broke up back early last year, but for press and stuff, they acted as a couple during the press run. Doja doesn't make bad music. She's just well, yeah. There's that attitude, yeah. Yeah, she treats her fans like shit. Which one, Madonna or Ariana Grande or Jennifer Lopez? You know, we flip flop around here. Some where there are two types of pop fans: those who listen to pop artists that are actively getting radio play and promoted on streaming services, and those that will deep dive into the history of pop music. I think I wait. Hold on. Those who listen to pop artists and are actively getting radio play. Well, I think I fall into the latter, where it's like those that will deep dive into the history of pop music. I'm more or less a nerd in that way of the history of pop music than the whole radio play bullshit. Mariah Carey Daydream. Oh yeah, I did see that message come out today. Speaking of which, I was getting into a whole back and forth online regarding Madonna because there was something about her legacy or whatever the case was. I can't remember the name of the article, but these motherfuckers had the nerve to slither up in my comments talking about well, because you know, with Madonna and her accolades and everything, with the number one album and everything, people was in my comments about Dolly Parton is still out here making me. I said, first of all, Dolly Parton has been sick and she canceled doing a residency in Vegas. Then they were bringing up Cher. Oh, Cher was the blueprint, and Cher was the one that was inspiring the girls. I'm like, who? Which girl is she inspiring? Dula Peep? And even Dula Peep was copying off of Madonna's confessions on the dance floor with future nostalgia. Get off my line with that bullshit. And worked with Stuart Price on that record. Get out of here with that shit. And first of all, Madonna is a self-made pop star. She didn't fuck a man twice her damn age and have a baby with him in order to get a record deal. Sonny Bono. So if we're gonna sit up in here and talk about inspiring, and let's also mention if it wasn't for Ray of Light, there would be no Believe. So if we're gonna do that, like, let's not come up in the comments with the bullshit. Because yes, she was up in there singing about gypsies, tramps, and thieves. She was a very much a chameleon in regards to the fashions and everything. But she was more or less interested in being an actress than a singer. Singing always felt like an afterthought for her. And yes, she may have like 8 dozen goddamn albums, but none of them had the cultural impact, and none of them was at like constantly number one, number one, number one, number one every time she released a record. So if y'all gonna come up in here with receipts and facts, if y'all gonna come out here and say shit, come with y'all facts. I always found it funny how Daniel Nardicio can't stand Madonna. Okay, that's what I be. Well, you know what? When it comes, maybe it's because you know the Leos, they see something in themselves that they don't like. You said I just learned radio waits until it becomes a hit on streaming services. Well, yeah, now they're slaves to the algorithm too. Next question would be which hottest man makes the worst music? Did you like the photos I shared where someone's supporters are even tired of his obsession with something from 6 years ago? Oh, you mean that whole the election was stolen? Shut the fuck up. So we got one person saying Jennifer Lopez and one person saying Ariana Grande. They already know they're gonna lose the midterms. Doja Cat treats her. Oh yeah, she definitely does. Both, both, both. all Cher had was her long black hair and a rocking waist, but that music was not. No, it wasn't. First of all, when I listen, I can't get into her music. The only time that I really got into, I mean, of course, I heard like um Dripsies, Tramps, and Thieves, and all the and Turn Back Time. Yeah, she had a couple of songs here and there, and then when she did what's that song? And the song I go, "In His Kiss," that's what it is, and that's because that was in a freaking movie that she did. What was it called? Mermaids with Christina Ricci and Winona Ryder. That's so she had a couple of cute songs and everything, but it wasn't until Believe came out she started diving into the whole dance thing because house had dance music. That was my spiel. That's when I was getting into her. But then she did Closer to the Truth. She also did another album. It's like, okay, so now because that brought you success, you stuck with the dance music, but it was all coming out where it all started sounding the same. You were trying to chase the trend rather than come up with something new and innovative. And that's the difference between Cher. Cher goes where the wind blows. But Madonna, what if she's gonna dive into different genres of music, it's always the trick is, and that's with any artist, you don't follow the trends or chase the trends, which she did do at a certain point. And you already know I got on her about that. It's like, girl, it sound like you chasing the trends, MDNA, rather than setting the trends. Rebel Heart, um, Hard Candy. So those are three albums that I just named. But taking a specific genre and being like, what do I add to this to the mix? Like, how do I make this genre of music sound like something that I would bring to it rather than you just trying to copy off of, like I'll say Madonna trying to copy over Charlie XCX. So I'm gonna do hyperpop now. So I'm gonna just copy off of what she did. That's not being creative. It's like, what do I like hyperpop, I like this whole sound. How would I make this sound work for me? That's the thing that artists need to kind of get into. Believe with Ocha, and every time I think about Believe, I think about that episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer where Buffy's roommate kept playing that damn song, and Buffy wanted to beat the shit out of that girl. Then come to find out she was an alien. Believe was a huge fluke. Right song, right artist, right place, right time. But she didn't get another massive hit after Believe. Yeah, because they ran that song to the goddamn ground. Did you like The Music's No Good Without You? The auto tune on that song is atrocious, but I unironically like it. That was another one where they were trying to copy over making it like the Believe thing, but the auto tune, yeah, it was just like, girl, like it's driving me crazy. Only other songs I like are Dark Lady's a cute one. Take Me Home. I do like that. Oh yeah, because of Drag Race. Well, Drag Race will definitely make a song work. Believe only happened because Ray Light, huge commercial success. Warner forced her in that direction. It paid off. But sadly, it's all she does. Then somebody had the nerve to bring up Cher doing a Christmas album. I'm like, child, she will never beat Mariah Carey as the Queen of Christmas. Yes, she put out a Christmas album. It did okay, but it ain't on the level of Mariah. Everybody knows Mariah is the Queen of Christmas. Many have tried, but that's Mariah's lane. It also doesn't help that Cher doesn't have a classic album or a real stamp on the music industry besides her biggest singles. That's how I feel about. Absolutely. Neill hit on him, Diana Ross, Barbara Streisand, all these. I'm like, they have great songs, but there's no real defining album that really makes them put their stamp on being a woman in the zeitgeist of pop culture. None of them hit that. Even Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton has great songs. Dolly Parton's been in the game for a long time, but there's no definitive album, in my opinion, that makes her put her stamp on the whole situation. Chad, you ain't the only one. I did not like that last album. Probably got like through 4 songs. I was like, girl, this album is a chop. I was done. Lady Gaga fan saying Madonna didn't add nothing new to the table. Really? And what did this be? And what did Gaga add to Mayhem? Nothing, except trying to chase what you did back in the Fame Monster era. And you need to be mad at your girl because her and her team and Interscope, they gave up on that record. You only promoted, Disease was a buzz track. Abracadabra was like the biggest song to come off that album. But you really didn't push any of the other singles beyond that. Um, you pushed the Dead Dance, which is a horrible fucking song. because it was a part of, Wednesday, but you didn't really like promote the record anymore. And there's some good songs in there. Zombie Boy should have been a single. Vanish Into You should have been a single. You didn't push any of those songs. So don't be mad and trying to throw shade at Madonna because Madonna's winning right now. Be mad at Interscope for failing your girl. Jolene would probably be Dolly's classic album named after her biggest song. I also really like My Tennessee Mountain Home. Question. Wait, I was gonna say, didn't somebody? Well, I'm sure a lot of people covered Jolene. Beyonce covered it on her latest album. You said Cher doing a Christmas album at 77 years old. I'm 42. That was normal in the industry. Mariah Carey changed the game because she was 25 when she issued Merry Christmas, like she said at the time. I wait till Gaga actually puts out an actual industrial. Child. I said that shit from the beginning too. She was about, oh, it's gonna be industrial. So I'm listening to the record like, girl, where is the industrial? And there's nothing industrial about this record. Let me tell you something. Adam Lambert's Adam is more industrial than Lady Gaga's latest album. So, I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. First, call up Trent Reznor. Let me tell you something. If I was to ever put out an industrial record, it was like, yeah, I probably will call up Trent Reznor. You know what? The one album I really wish that would have happened, I really wish Aaliyah would have gotten, before she passed, would have gotten to work with Trent Reznor. I remember she said that for the longest times, that was like one of the dream people that she would have loved to produce a record for her. I would love to see her do that. I would call her Trent Reznor and Boys Noise. I'm like, I want what y'all did with them songs on that, with that Coachella performance. I want that kind of industrial, because it's like I like the industrial music where it's like cold and icy, but I want them house beats to go along with it. So that marriage of what they did, I want more of that, because I definitely loved that record they did for the performance at Coachella. Dolly made a shitload. Yes, she did. So it's like she ain't really got to work because Whitney Houston made her a shit ton of money. But a lot of times artists did what they had to do to slither their way out of them shitty ass record deals. So it's like, let me make a country record. Let me make it, or make concept records, or you release a greatest hits. It's like, look, I fulfilled my contract. You said leave Los Angeles, move back to New York City. I did move back. Wait, you talking about me? Leave Los Angeles, move back to New York City. I was just about, well, look, that was the best thing he did. Oh, yeah, you talking about Gaga. And that was a smart thing for Adam. Adam left LA, moved to New York, and then he put out his album, which is actually pretty good. It took me 3 tries to get into that record. I ain't gonna hold you. It took me 3 tries because the first time I listened, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? I didn't like it at all. Then I tried to listen to it a second time again. And I was like, maybe it's just me being on the train and I wasn't in the headspace for it. But the other night, I think because Mercury's in retrograde and people was trying my goddamn patience. When I came home from that tight ass Alex Warren concert, I put it on. I was like, you know what? And because I got off a stop before because I thought like, okay, I could stand and wait at this other bus stop because I didn't want to wait another 30 minutes for a damn bus. Come to find out that bus stop was blocked off because they doing construction. It's always a fucking construction. So I was mad. So I had to walk to a different bus stop. So I was like, let me put the Adam album on. He wasn't lying when he said it's a good strutting album because bitch, I was strutting to get to where I had to go. He said, oh yeah, Rammstein, let me tell you, when I saw Rammstein, I think it was at the Family Values tour where they did that show when they sang Buck Dish and he pulled out the prosthetic dick and was hosing the people down in front. I gagged over that. And then they had the simulating anal situation. I remember they got arrested for doing that too. And I think in like the Midwest. Let me tell you, Rammstein definitely be. When I saw that, I gagged. I was not expecting that they would get away with something like that, but they put on a show, and their music is good too. I don't be understanding a word they saying because it's in German, but I like their music. Roseanne said I was telling the truth that China interfered. That retarded bitch need to shut the fuck up. You said, but the actual files show they interfered to help the idiot in chief to ruin Biden. Look, Trump tells on himself every time. Every projection is a confession. But it's the dementia. Dolly Parton is biggest in the late 70s and 80s, same as Cher. Exactly. They were good back in the day. When I keep talking about this, y'all talking about past tense, not you, but when they come in my comments with the bullshit, I'm talking about today when you were in well, Madonna was in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and the 2020s. That's 5 decades where she's had number one records. When you start bringing up Cher and you start bringing up Dolly and you start bringing up Diana and all these other people, they have not had records released in those 5 decade periods that they've gone and had number one records. Check the stats. That's all I'm saying. Y'all want to sit and bring up all this other shit. It's like if y'all gonna come in here with the facts. She did what? Ava Cat canceled her pop album. She's why? Girl, you independent, and that's what you releasing? This bitch just needs to go away. Like, I be having high hopes for this. What's the phrase that we use up in here? With this Kaya, this Kaya inmate, because that's literally what she is at this point. It's like, no, what are you doing? Oh, the pop album's not gonna work, so I'm gonna do. We don't need no more Christmas albums. I'm sick of Christmas albums. I hate Christmas. Christmas is overrated. How I live for Halloween. We need more Halloween records. The only people out here doing Halloween records is Kim Petras. Everybody else ain't nobody else doing Halloween records. Ava canceled her pop album. She's doing a Christmas album, and I can tell you, Avatar's. I'd be pissed too. Like, girl, don't nobody want to hear no fucking Christmas record. What the hell are you doing? Who's advising you? Some got upset that some got upset. They said nearing 70, which is true. 60. Oh yeah, there was people in my comments. I'm like, yeah, she's 67, and well, she'll be 68 next month. So in 2 more years, she'll be 70. Nearing 70, she's in the late part of 60s. Are people slow? That was irritated me when I posted that thing too. Because she's 67, you didn't need to try to eliminate everything that with her age. I was like, okay, now y'all up in here just doing the whole semantics bullshit. If you're 67 years old, you are closer to 70 than you are 60. You on the later side. Now, if you were 62, if you were 61, you're closer to 60. Like, y'all don't know numbers, y'all don't know math. If you're 67, you close to 70. Just like I'm in my mid 40s. So I'm like in the hybrid. I'm in between. I would say I'm a little more closer to 50. So I don't understand why people sit up in here and like, yeah, 67 in 2 more years and a month. She will be oh yeah, because today's the 17th. So it's literally like 2 years in a month. She'll be 70 years old. She's August 16th. Today is July 17th. I wonder if Adam Lambert was mad that Sam Smith took what party? Because I just saw Sam Smith out here making out with his fiance and stuff in the street. So, um, what party? No shade, but I can't get into Sam Smith. I just think his music's boring. Great voice, but why these gays with great voices just be putting out boring ass music? I need my homosexuals to get a little slutty with their music. Madonna had at least a charting single even during the flop era. Cher not even reached goal in zero countries. Then they add, this is why I need y'all in my comments over on Facebook and stuff because I was gonna say I can't be out here windmilling these hoes all by myself. Yes, I can because I had time this morning. I was going through all the comments because I went to sleep. I put the thing up, went to sleep, woke up this morning, and people chose violence. I said, okay, bitch. Now y'all want to try to come up with my comments with these, like saying this shit with y'all whole chest. It wasn't just that; it was a political pro-Trumpers was coming up in my comments too. I had time this morning, so I was windmilling on the Trump supporters. I was windmilling on these people that was trying to discredit Madonna. A bitch was busy, and then on top of that, I had to go do a viewing, a watch party for, well, it was a watch party with just me. I had to record myself watching the finale of Drag Race, which is up on my Patreon. So, and then now I'm doing this show. So I was busy. Madonna going to number 13 in the US isn't a bad drop. No, he does. I know he's been, well, yeah, I've known this for a while. He's been working with Leland on some new music. But he recently dropped a new photo of him half naked, and everybody's like, "Oh, a new era's coming." Um, so yeah, he definitely has new music coming out. Hopefully, it's good. Hopefully we get more songs like Rush, because Rush was like, I feel like one of the best songs from that last record, because it was a little sexy, aggressive. Like I think my homosexuals to be releasing some aggressive dance music. It went to number one and to number three in France. It went to number one and number nine in the UK, but in Greece it went from 6 to 1. Oh, so it went up. I want him to work with someone besides Leland, the same guy that produces for Drake. That sounds like a read. You're like, oh, the same guy that produces for Drake. Yeah, because look, he do be giving cliche teas. Now, my thing is, I definitely, if I have like a go to person, like if me and Leland connect on so many levels, I definitely would keep Leland around. But to like stitch it together, kind of like Madonna and Stuart Price, like I feel like her working with Stuart Price is something that needs to always happen from now on if she decides to release more music down the road. But you bring in other artists, I mean, other producers to kind of give, like how Madonna did. She brought in Arca for certain pieces, or she brought in Andrew Watt and Circuit for certain pieces, or she brings in Fade and Tiny for certain pieces, or you bring in Stromae, you bring in all these different people to kind of give their sonic to beef up the music or whatever the case is. And but then you have that regular person that knows you that could stitch it all together. Me too. That record was boring as hell. But I like this. I feel like his last album was his best work. Ross Lynch, yes, he is. That I would chill. That's a pretty ass boy. And you said Rustling is so hot. I love the video he did with him, one of your girls. I said, I let him, you know, he could sit on my face, chat. Troy needs to reheat his Angel Baby. That's his best song, in my opinion. So it's a commercial success, and FIFA is going to give it a boost when she does Read My Lips. Because everybody wants something else, but because Read My Lips is on the FIFA album, that's how you know. Plus, Fade is from Colombia. Fade is cute. Let me tell you. I remember one time when I worked his show, his last concert, I was like, oh, who is that? I wasn't really familiar with his music at the time, but then I seen him up there. He was like, okay, let me listen to his stuff. You know, he was engaged to Carol G and they broke up. It says someone said Madonna will only be on for 90. Child. A best. And he said, I saw, but then I heard didn't I hear that they beefed up the halftime to be 30 minutes? I saw someone try to say Blue Neighborhood is a classic pop album when it's not. The guy that said it just had a personal nostalgia attached to it. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you have a personal nostalgia attached to it, um, then okay. But is it a classic? I wouldn't go. Well, you say that album is perfection. Which one? You talking about Troye Sivan? He said, well, they keep adding artists. Why? And then I read something that Post Malone talking about he going back to hip hop. Why? Is the country music not selling? Now you want to run back to black folks after you benefited from it? Well, I don't know if he smells. I ain't never been that close. But I worked shows where he performed. Him and Jelly Roll. I worked quite a few of their shows. I worked their stadium show at City Field, and I worked when they did a show together at MSG. Yeah, it is too many people. Why y'all adding more people? Y'all should just focus on Madonna, Shakira, and Justin Bieber and left it at that. Why y'all adding Post Malone? I mean, this is more believable. Some people say, yeah, he looked like he smelled. I don't know if he smells. I haven't been that close. Did we finish this poll yet? Because it's like, I gave y'all enough time. Well, funny enough, when you said, what was the question that we had before? Um, Probably looks better there. Well, y'all said who was a great singer with bad music? Who we putting in there? Benson Boone. Okay, let's stop the poll. Oh, damn. So it's a tie. I needed more of y'all to vote. So it's a tie. Anyway, oh well, from based on how I look, it's wait, hold on. Let's see if Is it that? Well, I guess Jennifer Lopez won that one because I just saw more people come in and vote. It's like, no, it's Jennifer Lopez. So Ariana Grande got away with that one. Damn, I forgot where I put it. Look, I got so many goddamn buttons in here. Hold on. Oh, it's because I stopped it. Never mind. But basically at this point, based on the way y'all voted, um, Jennifer Lopez is the winner of that one. Did you see? She got her ass as bony as she is, shaking her ass and dropping it low on the train pole. Nope, she was rolling that kiki. I did not see that. You said Lady Gaga because she hasn't delivered a solid album since 2011, but one this way where I can listen to it all the way through. Have I met any smelly celebrities? No, surprisingly, all the celebrities that I have encountered do not stink. You said, sure, the album paved the way for every fag that came after him. But besides that, he's in a dream. His In a Dream EP is better overall project than all three of his albums. Ooh, come on, debate. Not Joanne being booty cheeks. Yeah, I don't know what possessed her to put out that damn record. But anyway, um, that was a great conversation. Keep it coming. So let's get through the rest of these topics. Because I was having a good old time with that, with the little conversing situation. But anyway, let's talk Avengers. So it looks like we did mention this in a previous post, but now it's a story. So yeah, Avengers Doomsday tickets are going on sale next week, and we have the official runtime of the movie. We haven't even seen a lick of a trailer. We've seen little teasers here or there, but we don't even know what the hell. I don't know. Well, I'll say for me, I don't know what the movie is about. I have not been online reading all the discourses and leaked script stuff and all that other mess. I'm waiting until we get the official tissue situation of what the movie's about before I even report on it because I actually want to go in blind and not be aware of all the spoilers and stuff that's going to be going on with this movie. Even though some people love bragging every chance they get that they read the damn script and they know they think they know what to expect in the situation. But anyway, so Avengers fans assemble. So now in major Marvel news, Disney is planning to put premium format tickets on sale for Avengers Doomsday next week. The studio plans to announce that domestic tickets for the eagerly anticipated Avengers franchise sequel will go on sale July 20th, the Hollywood Reporter has exclusively learned. The studio will open ticket sales 5 months early for Infinity Vision theaters. I don't even know what the hell that means or what that is. The large format designation that the studio has announced for select Doomsday theater screens because they can't get the IMAX. That's why they're doing all of this. And I'm not paying for something I don't know what the hell it is. So I'll see it in Dolby when it comes out, when it becomes available. But yeah, Doom 3 has all the IMAX theaters. So Disney credited the Infinity Vision brand in the wake of Warner locking down IMAX theaters for Dune 3 for 3 weeks after both films are released on December 18th. The early ticket sales plan also comes with a runtime for the film, which is 165 minutes. Now, for those of you who don't know math like that, that basically boils down, it's 2 hours and 45 minutes, which is actually not bad damn near 3 hours. I mean, with them doing this type of film of this magnitude and have all these characters in there, you definitely need to have this movie to be that long. I just wish that y'all would cut down these goddamn coming attractions. There's no reason why I go to the movies and movie trailers go on for damn near a half an hour before the movie even starts, when there's a certain thing called YouTube and we can watch all the trailers that we want to see over there. Now, while the film's final cut is unlikely to be locked this far in advance, selling tickets on a set schedule means the film's runtime can only change by a small margin. At 165 minutes, the film will be longer than 2018's Infinity War, which clocked in at 149 minutes, but shorter than 2019's Endgame, which clocked in at 181 minutes. So we could sit through Endgame. Y'all can sit through this. So Disney will also offer Infinity Vision tickets for a re-release of Avengers Endgame coming September 25th, titled Avengers Endgame Encore. And I think from what I heard, they're trying to add a couple more things up in there. So I might actually go to the theater to see Avengers Endgame. And I did hear they're going to be adding a little extra stuff to the film. And so Endgame is, I guess, to make it make sense and what they're planning on doing with Doomsday. So Endgame is the second highest grossing movie of all time, which grossed 2.8 billion globally, coming just and the first one being Avatar. So the first Avatar made the most money in regards to the billion. So I should also point out that Marvel has not commented on any of this information, but this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter, which is a major trade. So the sale will launch a few days ahead of Marvel's presentation at SDCC, San Diego Comic-Con, on July 25th, which is expected to unveil the film's first full trailer when the MCU returns to Hall H. An online release of the trailer also seems likely, particularly given the ticket sales plan. And I'm hoping what happens with this, because I mean, I'm sure they probably learned their lesson. But what I'm hoping is that with this whole panel, that Kevin Feige and everybody has pretty much a great idea on once we get Avengers Doomsday and then of course Secret Wars, that you will let us know what is next on the whole slate, like in regards of um the next phase. But I don't even know what is this, phase 7, phase 8? I can't even keep up anymore. Like there's been just so many phases. I don't even know. But if y'all know, drop it in the comments. Um, I hope y'all let us know what movies y'all making. Like, let us know about what's coming up. X-Men. Hopefully, we get a cast announcement on X-Men or who y'all got that y'all putting up in there. Because now they keep talking about the Adam Driver's either playing Magneto or Mr. Sinister. There's so many different things that's coming up in regards to that. So I don't know who's being cast as what. So hopefully that comes out. Hopefully we'll find out, are we getting a Midnight Suns movie? Are we getting a Blade movie finally? Have you recast? Because at this point, Mahershala Ali is damn near 60 years old, and y'all still haven't given us a damn Blade movie. Are we getting a Ghost Rider movie? Are we gonna go more into a darker, more supernatural direction in regards to the MCU? Like, and are we getting a sequel to Shang-Chi? Like, I just want to know what are y'all giving? Like, what is the future of the MCU? So hopefully, with all this being said, that we will find all of this out when San Diego Comic Con makes its splash on July 25th. So, for those of you who probably don't know already, we already have Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. We're also going to have Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Paul Rudd, Pedro Pascal, and Anthony Mackie, Tom Hiddleston, Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan, Vanessa Kirby, Simu Liu, Letitia Wright, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Rebecca Romaine, and a whole lot more coming back. Y'all already know the characters they play in the MCU, so I don't need to go through it. But they're all going to be coming back and doing whatever it is that they got them doing in the script. So in the meantime, I definitely want to hear from you all. What do you guys think of this story? Are you excited for Avengers Doomsday? My thing is this: I need a trailer or something to make me get excited for this film. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I'm not excited in general, but the fact of the matter is we've been bombarded with so many other trailers and so many other things going on. I'm not I'm hyped, but but I need to see a little something to get me extra hype for this movie because I'm definitely gonna go see the movie when it comes out. I'm gonna see Doom 3 first, but I am gonna go see both movies within that weekend. So it's about time we got to see something because we're already in July. We've already got 2 trailers for Doom, and the movie comes out around the same time. We haven't seen a lick of anything except a couple of little teasers for Avengers Doomsday. So it's time that y'all give us a little something at this point to get the fans hyped up to get tickets for this damn movie. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Mm-mm-mm-mm. I remember that album was supposed to be a super hardcore after her American Horror Story season, but some feel she went and pivot because talk started. So I guess with A Star Is Born, she wanted the music to reflect the character that she was playing in that film. I said, we spent 55 minutes conversing. Keep it up. And you said, I'm really done with superhero flicks. I think a lot of people are having fatigue. You know what? I'm starting to agree with you on that because I know a lot of people say there's no such thing as superhero fatigue. It's mediocrity fatigue. But I'm like, no, I definitely think we're starting to get into superhero fatigue. I don't even think it has to do with mediocrity. I just think people are just over superheroes. People want something different. You have to realize the shift is happening within. movies regarding, especially Gen Z now going to, like, there was just another article that came out. I think Variety did it, or it might have been Deadline. One of the trades did a whole article on like how the movie going experience has been spruced up by Gen Z. And Gen Z is more or less, they want relatability. Yeah, a lot of them grew up in the whole era of superheroes and stuff, but they're kind of over it. So unless maybe your superhero films will be grounded in realism, I don't know if people care all that much anymore. So um yeah, Moana was a huge flop. There was a debate that I was watching with that moron Piers Morgan, where they were talking about the controversy surrounding the Odyssey and the fact that people are upset over the fact that you have a black woman playing Helen of Troy, Lupita Nyong'o, and they had the nerve to bring in Moana and start talking about. See, they were they were culturally accurate with what they were doing with that, and the movie still flopped. The movie flopped not because it was about Polynesian culture. The movie flopped because it just wasn't a good live action adaptation. That's why it flopped. It'd have been nice if they had some people up there that would have pushed that narrative, but that's not the narrative they want to. That somebody like a shit stir like a Piers Morgan is going to push, where you have people up there who are intellectually, you know, able to convey that. The movie flopped because it didn't look good. Visually, it's like you shot in Hawaii, but it looked like everything was shot in front of a green screen. It just didn't it look aesthetically appealing. And plus, everybody was talking about it wasn't good. But child, it might be time that people kind of give a second thought to Dwayne Johnson, because Dwayne can't open up no damn movies. And word on the street is that he may have another flop with Jumanji, because I've heard that people have seen cuts of the film and it doesn't. It looks like shit. So, Dwayne, your time might be up. You might have to take a back seat somewhere. And then you tried to be a serious actor with that that MMA movie, and nobody cared. Yes, Obsession is on Peacock. We talked about that earlier in the week. I have not seen it yet. I'm probably gonna watch it later on tonight. So there's quite a few movies that's out. Obsession is out on Peacock. Also, Faces of Death is on Shudder. So there's a couple of movies that I want to check out. So I don't know. I think they just have to rethink how they're going to come out with superhero movies and make people give a damn. The only MCU character I really give a shit about is Loki. I'm more of a DC girl. I like darker storytelling. Well, somebody tell that to James Gunn, because I don't know what the hell he doing over there with DC. It's gonna be like 3 hours and 10 minutes with the. That's another thing that's annoying. That's the same thing that I feel about when I go see the Odyssey. I'm like, fuck. This movie is gonna be so damn long, not only with the long ass commercials, but on top of that, the movie is gonna be long. Quit making the same fucking movie. How many C-men you gonna make? And they focus on the wrong characters. Storm should be a main focus. We've been talking about how Storm keeps getting underwritten or not taken, you said X-Men, I mean not C. Me. We need a Storm origin story movie. I don't know why. Yeah, y'all stayed failing Storm as a character. Is because the new movie generation is coming. They're not even into slashers, saying it hits too hard at home because of people dying by killers, and even Evil Dead hits too. Look, people just need to realize. I just think because kids have grown up in the whole internet and reality and all this other stuff, that they don't. Is it that they don't know how to distinguish fantasy from reality? Like, it's a movie. The Rock should have set Moana out. I think it meant sat. But then some people have been like, no, because he was in the animated version. True, but him in the animated movie, it worked better. When you have him in the live action, it just doesn't compute. They could have recast the role, but I guess in Hollywood, they still think that Dwayne Johnson is a profitable, he gets butts in seats. That man hasn't gotten asses in seats in a minute. A lot of horror movies have added comedy recently. Yes, I think Gen Z like superheroes, but they like the baddies, the morally grays, the anti-heroes, because let's get real, they're more relatable. And that's what it is like there needs to be shades of gray in a lot of characters. You can't have people being black and white. So and I think that stems from streaming and TV and things where characters are better fleshed out on streaming shows and regular shows and stuff, you can really take the time to develop those characters versus in a movie. So there needs to be shades of gray in a lot of the characters. They prefer psychological and make you think horror. Gen Z is the generation that had school pals and other stuff. Well, yeah, they grew up in, Columbine, all that mess. And look, funny enough, child, what do you mean? Because you changed the narrative like 8 million times. Oh, you said the Rock is overrated. I don't know why he played. Well, yeah. Funny. You know what's the weird part? How is it that Jason Statham can play the same character in every damn movie and we eat it up, but Dwayne Johnson played the same character and people are just like they're over it? Maybe because there's a certain charm that comes with Jason Statham playing the same character. I think that and his and I think another thing with Jason Statham is that he makes these really good action movies on a budget. Dwayne Johnson makes these movies and it's like, oh, you got to pay me $25 million, and the budget has to be $200 million. Speaking of which, they still giving Gal Gadot parts because I just saw a trailer for a movie that she got coming out where I think she's an attorney. Y'all believe she's an attorney, whose child gets kidnapped and she has to do a series of tasks in order to get her child back. It's going straight to Prime Video. So that's what her career is. Oh yeah, that wig was terrible. I think that was the beginning of when people was reading him in that movie. They did it with Nicole Scherzinger. Poor thing wasn't even in the movie, and she can sing. Yeah, and I guess maybe they think because she's not profitable, but neither is Dwayne Johnson. He ain't been profitable in a minute. Speaking of which, shout out to the Europeans because y'all live for Nicole more so than the Americans. They love her in the UK. He said reports came out and said that it also turned them off because The Rock is in animated films. He wasn't needed to be in live action Maui. Other people, yeah, you could have just had um a different actor come in and play Maui. I think that probably would have. Okay, yeah, we are very critical of where things got to be perfect. He said Gal Gadot is a bad actress, and the Z word, not the Z word. That's like Hannah for saying she worked in a bank. I think it could be believable that Jennifer Lopez could work in a bank. She definitely has a look where she could be the manager of a bank or a clerk. Madonna having her most successful album in 2 decades, and Guy Ritchie movies are flopping. Funny enough, his movie In the Gray, I just heard, or maybe it's just the gay blogs talking like out because they keep running this fucking article. They keep talking about this In the Gray movie with Jake Gyllenhaal and Henry Cavill and how homoerotic it is, and they keep hyping. I'm like, well, I heard the movie's terrible. I haven't seen it. It's like I think it's something you rent. I don't even. I'm not paying money to see that. When it ends up on a streaming service that I can watch it for free, then I'll watch it. You know what movie I watched the other day that actually wasn't really bad? I actually rewatched um Resident Evil the final chapter. I was like, oh, and I can actually see people getting killed up in here. There was a lot of plot holes that make no damn sense, but at least I could see a lot because I remember when I saw that in the movies, I'm like, I didn't even know certain characters died. And they kept changing up the lore every time. Who is even the demographic for Jennifer Lopez? Well, she do make rom-coms, right? I didn't even see that last one she had on Netflix. Yeah, pretty much it's the same. He does like a lot of these blokey action movies with the Cockney accent stuff. Although the Gentleman Show on Netflix is actually pretty good. So, but yeah, his movies can pretty much be same old, same old. But anyway, so we can go from the MCU to the DCU. And let's talk about Xolo Maridueña, who is coming back to the DCU. He's moved on from the DCEU to the DCU, and he's reprising his role as Blue Beetle. Now, from what I heard, that at one point, I believe HBO Max was developing a Blue Beetle animated series. From what I heard, I don't necessarily know if it's true or not, but I think Comic Book Movie reported that the Blue Beetle animated series has been put on the back burner, so I don't think that's happening. But James Gunn has opted to bring Xolo into Man of Tomorrow. So Jaime Reyes, aka the Blue Beetle, is about to be in Man of Tomorrow, and they said a sources close to production confirmed this to Deadline. That is a major trade, so we'll just go on and say that it is true. This is the first time he will play the DC Comics character since the 2023 film directed by Angel Manuel Soto. Now, Maridueña joins the previously announced cast that includes David Corenswet as the Man of Steel, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, Lars Eidinger as Brainiac, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, Skylar Gisondo, who's getting his own solo series, and Jimmy Tantro, who basically got killed first in Scream 7. He's about to play Gorilla Grodd in the spinoff series that Jimmy Olsen is going to be headlining. I just heard that the other day. Sarah Sampaio as Eve Texmacher, or however the fuck you say that name. Isabella Merced as Hawkgirl, Nathan Fillion as Guy Garner, Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific, and Adria Arjona, they said as Maxima, but yeah, she's playing Wonder Woman. Aaron Pierre also stars as Green Lantern, which we will see him in the TV show that's going to pop up on HBO Max next month. So they've been shooting this movie since April in Atlanta, and they said it's going to continue through the summer. Now, back in 2024, Deadline announced exclusively that as I just talked about it, a Blue Beetle animated series was in the works from Miguel Puga and Warner Brothers Animation and DC Studios. Last year, HBO Max revealed it would prioritize adult and family programming, with children's programming taking a step back because it doesn't fare as well and is no longer viewed as a priority. The Blue Beetle animated series was targeting young audiences who made up a large swath of the Giant Bugs fan base. There have been no updates on the project since the original announcement. But then, like I said before, I had heard from Comic Book Movie, take it with a grain of salt because they haven't officially made the announcement, but this is like the smaller trades or whatever. They're not like the major trades. But a lot of times, the smaller trades, they be getting scoops too. But according to them, the Blue Beetle series is not happening. So they said the Blue Beetle film focused on the third character to play the titular superhero in the comics, Jaime Reyes, the popular El Paso teen, created by Charles. Well, we don't need to go into who it was created by. But here's the thing: I liked Xolo as Blue Beetle. First of all, I liked Xolo ever since he was on Cobra Kai, and then he went on and did Blue Beetle. I went to the movies and saw it. A lot of people did not. um It was an okay movie. It wasn't perfect. It was entertaining in certain spots. I did cry when the father died. But yeah, it was overall I had a good time with the movie. Sholo's a good actor. I like that he's getting an opportunity to be another. I think he's also in Practical Magic too, if I read that correctly. But yeah, I like the fact that he's got a part. Now the question remains, what role is Blue Beetle going to play? I mean, are you just going to have him popping up in something, or is this going to lead to something down the road that maybe they're going to develop another movie or something or another? So if you're going to put him in here, and this is the thing I have an issue with James Gunn, you tend to overbloat your movies with all these different characters. And it's like, if it's a Superman film, why aren't we focusing on Superman? Because you're barely focused on Superman doing his thing in Superman, the movie that you did that came out, when was it, last year? There was so many characters. We had the Hawk Girl and all these other characters in the film, and Guy Gardner, and um, you know, and all these other superhero characters that we really didn't focus on him in a lot of ways. So you bring all these different people in here. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad he's getting a part and he's gonna get a check. But my thing is just, I hope you're not overcrowding this movie with all these little side characters for the sake of just putting people in the film. I hope it's good because quiet as it's kept, I was a little underwhelmed by his version of Superman. It was just a little too comic-y and bright for my taste. I don't know. Maybe like it was stated earlier before we even got to this topic. When it comes to the DC, the one thing I like that's versus the Marvel stuff, Marvel could be, I mean, they have their dark moments, and they've had like dark films that are dark in tone or whatever, but the movies are big and bright and vibrant. I like the fact that when it comes to DCU, that their stuff is a little darker. That they're a little darker and edgier, and you can take bigger swings in the DCU. With him trying to add all these little bright color palettes and trying to make it a little comicky and humorous, and trying to bring that whole Guardians of the Galaxy aesthetic to all of it, what's going on in the DCU. I don't know if I'm necessarily liking that. I mean, to be honest, I kind of like more of the direction that Matt Reeves has been taking his Batman universe, which that's a topic we about to get into after we do this one. So that's kind of like where I am with that in regards to the tone. So I don't know. So far, I'm not really feeling what James Gunn is doing. I didn't particularly. I mean, Supergirl was fun to watch. It was something to kill the time, but it's not a movie that I'll probably if it's on or whatever, I'll probably put it on and it'll be on in the background. But it's not in my top 10 best superhero movies. It's forgettable. So I need James Gunn and them over there to get it together in regards to the whole DCU. So shout out to you, Xolo. I'm glad you getting to come back in and do your thing in regards to the whole Blue Beetle thing. But I don't know if we need that character right now. So, and Susan Sarandon was horrible. I mean, she's good, but she was miscast as the villain. I just didn't like her villain in the Blue Beetle movie. But there's parts of the film that are good, parts of the film that could have used work. It is a fun watch. It is what it is, whatever. So I still to say, what do you guys think of this story? The fact that Xolo Maridueña is reprising his role as Jaime Reyes, aka Blue Beetle, in Man of Tomorrow. So whatever your thoughts on this matter, let me know in the comments down below. Mm, 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 mm. I heard David Howard Thornton wants to do the horror comic version of The Mask. I think I saw that that was an idea that I did hear about this story, and I definitely think that people go, well, I'd be here for it if the comic actually is not family friendly, which is what they made his version of The Mask. If it does have more of a dark, twisted vibe to it, to me, if you take it in that more of a direction, it's different than what we've gotten from the Jim Carrey version. Because people gonna be quick to say, "Well, I don't think they should remake that movie because Jim Carrey did such a great job, and nobody's gonna be able to stand up and do what he did." That's the thing I like about when you want to remake something and you want to take it in a different direction. If you want to take a darker, more serious tone, which is what you're saying is the original version of the comic, that the Mask is more of a horror comic than it is like this family friendly Who Framed Roger Rabbit in visual type situation, then just because you're trying to go for a younger audience, then I definitely think that why not take a different approach. I definitely check it out, and I definitely think David Howard Thornton, who is very expressive with his face and is a really good character actor, I think he'd be the perfect choice to play uh, that character in a different version. Blue Beetle is a mess. The Hispanics should have showed out for that. I thought they would have. Yeah, the movie was a mess, but I thought that the Hispanic community, y'all should have showed out for that movie, even though it wasn't a good film. You remember when they blamed Black Americans? Child. I was like, Black, stand down, stand back, and stand by. What was that foolishness that idiot president said? Don't be blaming Black people for that flopping, because Black people showed up in droves for Black Panther. And what's that other movie that's coming out? The controversy surrounding Amanda Stenberg. I seen the first look of that film. It's giving the costumes is giving very black. It's very Black Panther esque in regards to like the costumes. I saw some of the pictures, but I'm like, I need to see the trailer because I'm like, I might check this out. But yeah, don't be blaming Black people for that movie flopping. Y'all could have showed up. I thought Blue Beetle would be a moment for the Latino community like Black Panther did for Black people. And nope, they stayed their ass home. I don't think Susan Sarandon, no, she was definitely miscast. Because you're going to do evil. I need you to come in and really do evil. MLC is getting married this weekend. Every Spice fan clocked it when she and her man got matching tattoos. Well, the matching tattoos is a lot cheaper than a ring. MLC only has few partners, so if she's getting married, you know she found the one, especially at her age of 52. Well, congratulations to her on getting married. Hopefully it lasts. All right, y'all. So now, let's get into this story. So y'all getting my goddamn nerves over there at the DC because why we? Oh, sorry, I forgot. I hit the wrong one. Why are we delayed again? So the Batman Part Two was supposed to come out in October of 2027. Now it's been moved to 4 months from now, and now I mean 4 months from that from when it's supposed to get released, and now it's going to be coming out in February of 2028. So now I can bring up the picture because I went and I pushed the wrong damn push the button, and they posted like a little teaser where you see Robert Pattinson in the bat suit turning around. They said that the costume got an enhancement. The only enhancement that I guess that they said, maybe there are other enhancements, but they said the only difference is that his ears are much longer in the new movie. So though it's difficult to tell for sure, Pattinson appears to be wearing the same bat suit from the first film, but they said that he will don an upgraded costume at some point, which means is that yeah, they said that the slight change of the bat suit is that the ears are longer. But if people aren't going to be paying attention to that detail unless they've watched the Batman movie, which I is like I told y'all, out of all the Batman movies that I've seen, the Batman is definitely like one of my favorite films because I've always wanted to see the detective Batman. And if y'all can incorporate more of the detective Batman in the Batman Part 2 and some of the fight choreography that we got from that warehouse scene with Ben Affleck, if y'all could marry all the greatest pieces of Batman into this new one, and yeah, in the first The Batman, Robert Pattinson was a little rough around the edges, where it was like he was beating people up, and then at a point he had to kind of like restrain himself because he was like still in the midst of getting used to playing Batman because he was in the early stages of his career. So he was a little rough around the edges, and I like that whole point of him in that film. But I like one of my favorite Batman fight sequences is definitely not anything Christian Bale's done because Christian Bale fight basically like Batman is 90 years old and moving like a damn turtle. I'm like, who fights this damn slow? First of all, I hated the fight choreography in Christopher Nolan's Batman films, but the best fight choreography that I saw, yeah, the Batman has some good fight sequences. I wanted more. Hopefully, we get like I said in part two, but that warehouse scene in Batman v Superman, top top tier Batman fight. Definitely loved everything that went down in that film. But anyway, so they said after several previous delays, the Batman Part 2 was scheduled to arrive in theaters on October 1st, 2027, but has now been pushed back to February 18th, 2028. Well, here's the thing. The movie was also supposed to come out this year. They moved it to October 1st, 2027. Now they moved it to February 18th, 2028. It's not a huge setback, but at the same time, we've had consistent delays over the years when Matt Reeves taking 800 goddamn years to write a script after the first one came out, and then them finally getting to shooting the movie. It just became overtly annoying that damn that yeah, 4 months is not bad, but come on, another delay. And I don't mind February too much because the first The Batman came out in March. I remember because my roommate was a Pisces. I remember taking him to see the film on his birthday. I think it was like October, March 7th or whatever. I think it was around the time we take it. I'm just remembering off the top of my head. But I remember it was like around that time we wound up going to the movies. Let's see, because I think it came out around March 3rd or something. I can't remember, but it came out in March. And so it came out around that time. So I'm not too upset that it's coming out delayed, but the consistently moving stuff around and the delays, it's annoying. I am curious as to why they moved it. Um, I don't think it has to do with post-production because when you come up with a release date, you should know you have to have it locked on when you know how long it's going to take for you to do your post-production. Maybe it's a certain sequence that they needed to film that's going to take longer, or maybe they just added something that they thought was interesting, and we just need to add a little more to the script. I don't know what the reason is. I mean, there were rumors floating around that Matt Reeves had health issues, so I don't necessarily know what the reason is. But can we stop with the delays? Because it feels like like I understand that it does take time in between certain films for a movie to come out, but this is a little too long. So, um, Reeves recently confirmed that Robert Pattinson, Jeffrey Wright, Andy Serkis, Colin Farrell, Jamie Lawson, um, and Gil Perez Abraham will reprise their roles as Bruce Wayne, Batman, Jim Gordon, Alfred Pennyworth, Oswald Cobblepot slash the Penguin, Bella Real, and Officer Martinez will be coming back in their respective roles, alongside new cast members Scarlett Johansson, Sebastian Stan, Charles Dance, Sebastian Koch, and Brian Tyree Henry. Now, Reeves did not reveal the characters Gotham City's new additions will play, but there have been a lot of rumors floating around that Sebastian Stan has been cast as Harvey Dent slash Two-Face, Johansson as Gilda Dent, and Dance as his father Christopher. But then different rumors started circulating that they won't be playing those roles because Jeff Snyder, remember, came out and said that Stan is actually going to play Victor Zsasz, the twisted serial killer, and Brian Tyree Henry is actually going to play Harvey Dent. And that Johansson and Dance aren't playing big names in the Batman universe, but more like a meld of different characters. But then, because there's always something different, a recent rumor came out, and we did discuss this on the show, that Johansson is actually playing a serial killer obsessed with plants, which leads us to her playing, allegedly, Poison Ivy. And she's going after Charles Dance's character, who they said is a leader of a secret organization made up of the most powerful figures in the city, which means that people believe that the Court of Owls is going to be the big bad in the new film, but you got all these other little characters, and I definitely think I. I for the longest have wanted to see the Court of Owls play out in the Batman universe. So I definitely think, especially with the oligarchs and powerful people kind of being the ones that pulled the strings in real life in regards of our government and stuff, that is a great angle to take in regards of this show, or this film, I should say. Now, the Reddit post also mentioned that Sebastian Stan is playing Victor Zsasz, not Harvey Dent. Now, if Johansson is playing a version of Pamela Isley, it may lend credence to another recent rumor that DC Studios is developing a live-action Poison Ivy show set in the same universe as the Batman movies and the Penguin. Now, the question remains, if this does happen, will Scarlett Johansson play the part of Pamela Isley in a TV series like Colin Farrell did with Harvey Dent? And would you be down for it? I just think at this point, why not? I mean, the lines have been blurred in regards of actors doing TV and movies and stuff, and especially with it being a limited series, all they got to say is, "We want you for 8 episodes of this show." It's literally maybe 2 months of your time, maybe less. And I think Scarlett would be down because it's a limited series, similar to Colin Farrell, and she doesn't have to get all. But I don't know how they're going to make her look. And if I'm thinking they're going to have her look like a regular person, it just so happens she knows how to make these poisonous plants and use them to kill people, whatever the case is, whatever serums or toxins or whatever that she can come up with. If this turns out to be the character that she plays, so if she is playing Poison Ivy, I definitely think I wouldn't mind seeing her in a limited series on HBO Max. Why not? And who knows, it might get her an Emmy, like it did Colin Farrell for playing Oswald Cobblepot. So I'm definitely down to see what's coming up with the Batman Part 2. I love the film, and I think I'm just annoyed because we gotta wait so damn long. I mean, I'll probably be 50 by the time this damn movie, because they might delay it again. I'm like, look, shit, we might get Blade before we get a damn Batman movie at this point. I mean, we know the film is filming. We know the actual cameras are actually rolling. We've seen the footage. They show like some B-roll of Robert Pattinson in the bat suit. We've seen the Batmobile. Like Matt Reeves has posted things online in regards to him working on this film. I think because we've been waiting so long, I'm just anxious and I'm just irritated, and I just need this film ASAP. Now, speaking of films, before I get up off this, There's been rumors floating around. John Campea even told about this on his show earlier today, that he believes that he knows who actually has been cast as Batman in James Gunn's The Brave and the Bold. Y'all already know who I've been wanting to play the part for the longest. Damn, now I forget his damn name. The one that played Amanda Seyfried's husband in The Housemaid. That's why I've been wanting to play the Batman. Well, Batman in The Brave and the Bold. But they said there's some unknown. This guy here, whose name is Mitchell Slaggart, and he's an American actor and model based in New York. And he's been in quite a few things, which I could name not one thing that I've seen him in. They said he did a Carpenter's Christmas, because I'm looking at his IMDb, a Carpenter Christmas Romance. He was in a show or movie, I guess, called Moss. A Wish Upon, I think that's a horror film, and it looked terrible, so I haven't seen it. The Secret Lives of College Girls, I've heard of that, but it was short-lived. Right When You Get Work. Then there was something called Guardian, sorry, Spare Room, Le Mal Le Parfum, Under the Sky. So he's been in a couple of things that I've never even seen, which I guess works because we want an unknown. And he's a Virgo, September 15, 1994, which makes him 31 years old. And he's a good looking guy. I don't know. He might be a little young to be playing a part, but why not? I mean, if you have a 31-year-old playing Batman, you can have him play Batman for a long time. And if you're going to do Damian Wayne, why not make him a 10-year-old, get a 10-year-old to play him? I know some people are like, but why you got to be so young? I'm like, look, if we could have Chloe Grace Moretz playing Hit Girl at her little age that she was at the time she played it, I don't know why people got a problem with y'all picking some little boy to play Damian Wayne and him getting up in there killing people and cussing people out. However, y'all plan on which direction y'all plan on taking this film. Why we can't have a little nuisance up in there doing whatever it is they're gonna be having them do unspeakable things. So shout out to the Batman Part 2. Hurry and get this damn movie made so I can see it. And I don't know if it's true or not with this kid, Mitchell Slaggart, playing the part of the Batman. But on the Batman, why am I sounding like a Hooper? The Batman playing Bruce Wayne / Batman. But we'll see if this all turns out to be true once it is made official on who's going to be playing this part. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding the Batman Part 2 being delayed yet again to 2028, and this rumor of regarding who they may have playing Bruce Wayne / Batman in The Brave and the Bold? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Oh, and they stayed their ass at home. I mean, they did. Yep, 2028, which is freaking annoying. Mayor Mamdani declared this weekend as Shakira and Madonna weekend because of the World Cup. Shakira will be doing a free concert at Central Park this summer. Well, that's awesome. You know what? One of my friends was in the group chat. What he said? I think he said a lot of people are envious of us with Zoran. I'm like, and are. Yes, they are. Um, And I said, they big mad over Mamdani. Because they said, we literally are the envy of the entire country with our mayor. Because Zoran Mamdani, they said, has turned down an 18% pay raise that would have brought his salary to $305,800, which would be 227,645 in pounds. That's UK coin. And he says that I haven't knocked on anyone's door in New York City. And that, wait, hold on, because now I got to open it. It's over on the Twitter, because they sent it to me. He said, I haven't knocked on anyone's door in New York City, and they've said their concern is that the mayor makes too little, he told reporters on Thursday. The same day, members of the city council voted to approve a pay raise for themselves and other officials. So it's like, he's like, look, I'm here to help New York get itself back on its feet, not charging people a shit ton of money. Like, literally, it came out a report that the median rent in New York City in Manhattan is $5,000. 5K a month. I mean, there are apartments, trust and believe, like we have affordable housing and stuff. I'm still in the process. I'm on the list. Sailor Mermaid, had helped me out recently, even though I was already attached to it. I was attached to the whole housing thing when I was at my other job, which was when I was doing the COVID testing and stuff. I was making a shit ton of money during that. That was during Trump's first term. But I'm still on the list with that. So I'm still waiting to get one of them little cute apartments in Manhattan. And I know like there's apartments that is nice in those affordable buildings that aren't gonna charge you $5,000. But yeah, there are some crazy apartments. And you have to realize all of this was under who was our last mayor? That coon? Eric Adams. That was under him. So of course everybody's still blaming Mom Donna. Well, I thought they said it's gonna freeze the rent. I thought they were saying on so you're gonna get your people. I was like, and it was this bitch that generally I said, bitch, first of all, and you know me, when y'all write comments, I do go to y'all page, I look at your pictures, I look at where you from. Cause I need stuff to be able to read y'all in y'all comments when y'all try to come for us over in New York. I was like, bitch, worry about what's going on in Michigan. You're not even in New York, so don't come up in here trying to worry about what we got to worry about what's going on in Michigan and the fact that y'all water is nasty. How about that? That you getting that nasty woman disease when you drink the damn water down in Michigan. Worry about that. Don't come up in here trying to read us over what's going on in New York and the whole freeze the rent. What it basically means is if your median rent is $1,200, it's not going to go up for the next 2 years. So you'll still be paying your rent and you can make whatever you need to make. Because I don't understand why the rent keeps going up every year and nothing gets improved in a lot of these apartments. When I lived in Harlem, I didn't have no real issues with stuff. The only thing that I had that was annoying was the fact that we had there was like roaches and stuff coming in the apartment. And that was from them other apartments, and that was pissing me off. So that was the only thing. I was like, ain't nobody brought roaches up in here. We getting that shit from these neighbors, and they coming up in people's house. That was the thank God we ain't had no mice. But the roach thing that used to piss me off because it was like when you got neighbors around you and they got all that shit up in their house and then they come in your stuff. Taco Bell's officially being so they need to be because y'all running out here getting that explosive diarrhea from eating that nasty ass Taco Bell, that old fake Mexican food. And you said what they don't know is that they didn't cause the explosive diarrhea. Two businesses that distributed the lettuce are huge donors to the regime. And that's what y'all need to be suing. Maybe y'all need to be suing our government because they've been getting rid of a lot of the regulations where they're supposed to be checking a lot of the food and things that's supposed to prevent us from getting sick when you eat certain stuff. So that's the bottom line. Y'all need to be out here suing RFK retarded ass and that fat fuck president that y'all voted for or whatever. But a lot of people don't understand like go to the top. Why y'all running and coming after people in this thing? Y'all think it always starts with the restaurants. It's like when they order stuff, that stuff comes into the restaurant. I used to work in places where I had to go and order food and things to come in the companies that you hit up. And child, the invoices, I was like, thank God I don't have to pay for this. But when you go and you send out the things of how much stuff you need and all the other stuff and they send it to you, those are the companies you need to be getting at, the warehouses and the companies and all those things that distribute the food for them to be able to cook in these restaurants for y'all to eat. But they don't be thinking about all that. They think, oh, I just went to Taco Bell, I ate the food, I got sick. Of course, he was going to throw Taco Bell under the bus. You said, but Taylor Farms and Cisco Foods is the actual culprit. But because, yeah, I've dealt with Cisco Foods, child, but because of the donors, they didn't want to be canceled. Well, look, if y'all gonna be filing y'all lawsuits, y'all better know where to go. Okay, so let's get through these other topics real quick. All right, y'all. So now let's get into this next topic, and let's talk about God of War. So I don't know if y'all have heard, but there is a God of War TV series that is currently in production for Prime Video. So the main actor who they hired to play Kratos, unfortunately, has to sit this out because he got an onset injury, which he injured his bicep. And now that after he's had the surgery and everything, he's going to be out for a minute and it has to go through a recovery process, which is unfortunate. So now they said that they have to recast the role. Now, with this, what I'm wondering is Are you gonna keep the same actor in there, and you think we're not gonna notice the difference because you could just paint them with the makeup and all the stuff? We're not gonna, or are you actually gonna reshoot all the scenes from that previous from Ryan Hurst and bring in a new actor? I'm wondering how they're gonna do this because that's a lot of money when y'all gotta come in and reshoot everything. I'm also wondering how far in the filming of this show have they gotten where this situation has happened. So Prime Video's God of War will have a new actor playing Kratos as the lead role in the high-profile fantasy drama series is being recast, as according to Deadline. The decision made after a careful consideration by the studios on the show, Sony Pictures TV and Amazon MGM Studios, comes after Ryan Hurst, who had been originally cast as Kratos, was seriously injured on the set of the PlayStation video game adaptation in late June, saying this is a heartbreaking development for Hurst, who underwent a physical transformation after getting the role, putting on 40 pounds of muscle and worked hard for months on the Vancouver set, filming the physically demanding role until getting hurt performing his duties. Whatever happened to bringing in a stunt person? Like, Jesus. And I understand, like, as actors, you want to be able to do as much as you can because you want to show, like, yeah, I did all those stunts or whatever. Because if that was me, I'd definitely be wanting to do as much as humanly possible with the stunts. But things happen. So they said Hurst tore a bicep while doing a stunt on the show, as first reported by TMZ. According to sources, he has since undergone surgery and is now recovering. God of War paused production immediately following the incident and remains on hiatus. Now, projected recovery time is unclear before a serious bicep tear requiring surgery. It's typically 4 to 6 months. So that's literally, you're going to be out of commission for half a year. And that sucks because I feel like at this point, what you can't do is when you are the main character, and I don't know if we could say he's number one on the call sheet, but when you have him and the young actor Colin Vincent, who's playing his son, funny enough, the little actor that's playing his son in the film, he's also playing a young Jason Voorhees on the upcoming Crystal Lake series. So when you have, I guess he would be number one on the call sheet, and then the little actor playing his son would be number two. So when you're the main character in the film, you can't postpone and shoot all these other scenes with all these other people while you know he's recovering because time is money. So half a year you got to be out of commission while your bicep repairs. And let me tell you something: if you get, I don't, I mean, when I work out my rotator cuff be killing me. So totally understand how that pain is when you're trying to work out through it. And I need to go to a doctor and have my rotator cuff checked because it's like when you're someone who lifts weights and all this stuff, that tends to happen when you get like these little. It probably is an injury or something, and I just tough it out, which would probably make it worse because then down the road, I mean, I don't want to put roots in myself, but it's like because of things with my mother, she can't even carry like heavy bags or whatever because she has an injury in her shoulder or whatever. So you don't want to get it to the point where you can't even use your arms for a lot of heavy lifting and all that other stuff. So so basically it said that given the physicality of the role, it will likely not have been safe for Hurst to resume filming until 2027. So they probably want to keep the momentum going. And yeah, so they don't want to have to pause the show until next year. So, according to sources, while Hurst's full recovery is a priority, the period required for it was longer than the production shooting schedule could accommodate, leading to the difficult decision to recast the role. Prep is expected to begin in mid-August for a mid-October production start. Oh, well, they said prep is expected to begin in mid-August for a mid-October. Oh, so they haven't even started filming yet. Wait, they said because it said that a mid-October production starts. So the ancient mythology themed God of War from writer, executive producer, and showrunner Ronald D. Moore began filming in February. Okay, so they've been filming. My fault. So they began filming in February in Vancouver for a 2-season order, with the 2 seasons slated to film back to back, which I hear remains the plan. According to sources, 4 episodes have been fully completed at the time of the incident. They will now be reshot with the new actor who will take over the role of Kratos, with the co-lead Atreus, played by child actor Colin Colin Vincent, it would be hard to use much of the existing footage as kids grow up fast. For Hurst, the recasting news comes as he faces an extensive recovery in what was supposed to be a great week for him. Hurst is also in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Now, God of War follows father and son Kratos and Atreus as they embark on a journey to spread the ashes of their wife and mother, Faye. Through their adventures, Kratos tried to teach his son to be a better god, while Atreus tried to teach his father how to be a better human. So we also have Manny Patinkin as Odin, Ed Skrein as Baldur, Max Parker as Heimdall, Olafur Dari Olafsson as Thor, Teresa Palmer as Sif, Alastair Duncan as Mimir, Jeff Golka as Sindri, and Danny Woodburn as Brock. Now, recasting the lead of a series after injury is unfortunately extremely rare. Under similar circumstances, O'Shea Jackson Jr. in February of 2020 replaced Winston Duke, not M'Baku, child. You replace M'Baku as lead of Apple TV's Kevin Durant's drama Swagger when Duke was injured on set early in season one production. Meanwhile, Netflix shut down production on a series Cowboy Bebop for 7 to 9 months after the lead, John Cho, sustained a knee injury again. Y'all wouldn't cancel the damn show anyway. In October 2019, which required surgery and extensive rehab. With the pandemic factoring in, the series resumed production 11 months later with Cho. Now, God of War is co-produced by Sony Pictures TV, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So this is unfortunate. Damn, y'all shot 4 episodes. You have to bring in a whole new, well, I don't think they're going to recast Colin Vincent. Because yeah, kids definitely grow up fast, and it's going to look weird that in certain scenes when you bring in a new lead actor to play Kratos, and then Atreus looks taller in certain scenes, it's going to look weird. Look, there's people like Tyler Perry that could do these weird ass shots and get away with it, and y'all be complaining he don't give a damn. But when you want accuracy in regards to your shots, that's not something that you want to deal with. So this is unfortunate. I definitely wanted to see Ryan Hurst play this part because he definitely looked like Kratos when I looked at him. So it's unfortunate this is happening. It'll be interesting to see who they pick to be the replacement. I'll definitely keep you guys abreast of this story as it develops. I'm looking forward to seeing this show because I love God of War, and I definitely want to please be better than The Last of Us because that last season of The Last of Us was a damn chop. So sorry to hear this news. And I'll definitely keep you guys abreast of the story as it develops. But in the meantime, I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story that they had to recast the role of Kratos because Ryan Hurst basically ruined his bicep, well, injured his bicep while performing a crazy stunt. So, stunt people, please take care of your actors. And yeah, I guess what it needs is like, yeah, they got to do a quick casting, and whoever they pick, they gotta get in shape really. They gotta get in shape pretty fast for this part. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. He wasn't. He wasn't a good Kratos. Well, I've been interested to see. Well, everything happens for a reason, they say. All right, now, so let's take a blast of the past and let's talk about G.I. Joe, the real American hero. G.I. Joe was there. Remember that show? That was my shit back in the day. I had the action figures. I used to watch the cartoon and all that great stuff. So, yeah, there is a G.I. Joe movie in the works, a reboot. I know a lot of people are like, why are they making a G.I. Joe movie when Masters of the Universe flopped at the box office? I think G.I. Joe was in a different space than He-Man because who was He-Man for? Like, okay, when I was a kid, I watched He-Man, so I was gonna go see the movie regardless. But when they made that movie, it was all over the place in regards to the tone. So you didn't really know who this was for. At least when it came to G.I. Joe, during around the same time as we got Transformers, there were 2 G.I. Joe movies. Now, whether or not y'all thought they were good movies, that's neither, that remains to be seen. Speaking of which, I forgot to put this on. Yo, comment. That remains to be seen or whatever. But Danny McBride, who has worked on shows like the Righteous Gemstones, he also wrote Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. I know them last two movies is pretty divisive amongst the Halloween fans. He also wrote that horrible ass script to the fucking Exorcist, which I'm looking forward to the new Exorcist movie that's coming out with Scarlett Johansson, that I believe was written and directed by oh my god, fuck, I forgot his name. The one that just did the new Carrie series. That they've been showing us pictures and stuff of. But anyway, so Danny McBride is writing and directing a new G.I. Joe movie. I'm a little iffy about that because he hasn't proven himself in the space of, can you write a consistently good script? And this is like your first movie. This is your directorial debut. So I'm a little on the fence. And we haven't had the greatest track record when it comes to a G.I. Joe movie. But according to reports, and I really wish that he was still a part of it, Chris Hemsworth was supposed to actually star in the new G.I. Joe reboot. But unfortunately, he's not doing it. So now they're saying Bradley Cooper is going to step in. And Bradley Cooper, I mean, I didn't mind him in the A-Team. Remember, they did make a remake of the A-Team. It was with him, and who else was in it? Liam Neeson. That wasn't a bad movie. And also, Charlton Copley, who, was in District 9 and a bunch of other movies. So I didn't mind the A-Team. That was entertaining. It wasn't a good movie, but I had fun with it. But Bradley Cooper's been doing a lot of serious movies lately, and I think he's been overly pretentious in a lot of those because he's like, "This is my please give me an Oscar era," and child, no, the Hollywood sees through your bullshit. So now there's rumors floating around that he may actually replace Chris Hemsworth in Danny McBride's G.I. Joe movie, and they also said that there's other actors who might be up for the role as well. So according to industry scooper Daniel Rickman, aka Daniel RPK. I'm not here for this choice because I can't stand him. Chris Pratt is up for the role as well. And Walton Goggins. Now I like Walton Goggins. Ever since he was in The Shield, right? Yeah, I think he was in The Shield. He also was in Justified. I loved him on Justified. And Walton Goggins, I've been following him ever since. I still have not watched the new season of Fallout. I know a lot of people have not watched season 2 of Fallout. I need to get around to watching it. But I like Walton Goggins in the show. So they said they're in the running to replace Hemsworth and Danny McBride's G.I. Joe feature along with Cooper. Pratt famously has portrayed, as y'all know, Star-Lord in the MCU, starring opposite both Hemsworth and Cooper in multiple projects, because Bradley Cooper played Rocket Raccoon, and of course, Hemsworth was Thor. Meanwhile, Goggins played Sonny Burke on Ant-Man and the Wasp, which was terrible, and voiced an alternate version of Birch in the Disney Plus. I said DC Plus, Disney animated anthology series What If, which, I didn't particularly care for What If. Now, as with Cooper, Goggins has worked with McBride in the past. He actually played baby Billy Freeman in the HBO satirical crime comedy series, The Righteous Gemstones, which McBride created and starred in. He also portrayed Lee Russell in McBride's Vice Principals, which aired on HBO between 2016 and 2017. Now, amid all these casting rumors, recent reports reveal that McBride will also direct, as I pointed out to y'all, and I wouldn't go this far. They wrote an article, Pratt is one of the biggest movie stars today. Really? Because that last movie that he did with Rebecca Ferguson, and I love Rebecca Ferguson. If y'all have not seen Silo, which is in its third season over on Apple TV Plus or Apple Plus, I forget. They changed the name, but you know these people. Definitely check out that show. It's really good. I would not go as far as to say that Chris Pratt is a big movie star. I mean, if we're talking Super Mario Brothers, that last Mario movie, yes, it grossed $1 billion at the box office. Was the first one to gross it. Now it's, the second one would be Michael. Um, that was animated, so that's different. But he did that movie. Damn, I forgot the name of it. The one with Rebecca Ferguson, where he was in a chair and had to prove that he didn't kill his wife or something or another. That movie flopped at the box office, and they immediately rushed that to Prime Video. So, I would not say he's the biggest movie star today. Maybe he's very successful at getting his wife Catherine Schwarzenegger pregnant, but he's more successful at knocking her up than getting a movie to be a hit at the box office. So, um I hope the movie doesn't suck. That's all I got to say about that. But yeah, so in the meantime, I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Do you think, who would you like to see be in this movie, or do we even need a G.I. Joe movie at this damn point? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Yeah, The Last of Us. I like season one. Didn't particularly care for season two. I watched a few episodes of What If because my nieces and nephews like it. Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with some of the episodes. Yeah, it was Mercy. That was the name of it. I just didn't watch it. Now, y'all know I don't particularly care for Chris Pratt, but I'm like, damn, I love G.I. Joe. And if they do cast him in the lead, I might have to suck it up and watch it. Anyway, let's get, now that we're done with the movie news and stuff, let's get into some mess over there in the world of TV. And let's talk about the Today Show, because what is going on? Apparently, it's easy for people to get past security about the Today Show and call people all kinds of N words and things. So, Craig Melvin, who I love because he be gooping a lot of the celebrities over there with his questions. Remember when he got Nicole Scherzinger stuttering on like, why is there three members? What happened to all the other girls in the PCD? And she all of a sudden started malfunctioning in real time. He also had them stumped over there when they was promoting the Michael movie. Who was it? Coleman Domingo and Neil Long, when he was asking about the molestation accusations and all this stuff. They was over there hemming and hawing, couldn't even get an answer together. It's about his legacy. Y'all could have just said that, yeah, the third act was going to address it, but because of legalities, they had to squash it. And they had to go and throw 30 minutes of fucking a reenactment of a concert. Y'all could have said that, but they didn't know that Craig was going to come up in there and stump y'all, which we live for because I love the mess. And I love that network TV is still with the shits. Because I always thought that y'all was up in here trying to kiss these people ass just so y'all could get them on y'all show and do interviews. But nevertheless, he had to go and endure these inbred assholes, who I did see some of them because I think TMZ stopped them and asked some questions or whatever the case was. They're a bunch of damn inbreds who probably living in their mama basement with no job and nothing else. So apparently a man broke, because they arrested two people, but they only was reporting that a man broke through security, and they was wearing the same outfits too, at the Today Show set at Rockefeller Center, and was arrested after he lunged at Craig Melvin and shouted the N-word at the co-anchor. This is according to sources familiar with the situation. The incident happened at around 9 a.m. and was not captured on the today's broadcast. It was first reported by TMZ, citing law enforcement sources. The outlet said that the intruder was trying to locate longtime Today weatherman and personality Al Roker. When he couldn't find Roker, he found him another black man, decided to lunge at him and call him the N-word. The man was arrested and nobody was physically injured. Now, Melvin was named co-anchor of Today in 2018, and in January 2025 replaced Hoda Kotb as Savannah Guthrie's co-anchor in the show's first 2 hours. He also serves as co-host in the third hour of Today and host of syndicated Dateline NBC broadcast. Melvin has worked with and for NBC for years. In 2008, Melvin joined WRC, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. And you know what? It seemed to be a whole lot of drama going on. First of all, you got people slithering on their, cells on set, calling people N-words and trying to attack journalists or anchors, whatever you want to call them. Savannah Guthrie still out here. Well, I'm probably going to hell for saying it, milking her mother death and talking about that she taking off because of what's going on. And then I just heard the latest report that the security guard, who was apparently wasn't doing their job and allowed this man to get on set, he got fired after the intruder confronted Craig Melvin. And it says, according to USA Today, Today's Show intruder has been ordered to stay away from Craig Melvin and Al Roker. So let me open up that article real quick and see. Well, did y'all did y'all get a restraining order? Well, they said that Andrew Trulove, Jim, fucking 41. You people are pathetic. Andrew Trulove, 41, was arraigned in a New York criminal court on Friday, July 17th, where he was officially charged with burglary in the third degree as a hate crime and menacing in the third degree as a hate crime. Both felonies, according to records reviewed by USA Today. He remains in custody with a $10,000 bail. So he ain't even got the coin to get his dumb ass out of prison. I mean, out of the jail. Hold on, because me trying to close up stuff, it sent me somewhere. The Manhattan District Attorney's complaint obtained by USA Today says Trulove snuck into the building at 30 Rockefeller Center by following behind an employee who scanned into a restricted area with an identification badge. Trulove was allegedly looking for rogue. See, this is the thing too. Whenever I scan into places, I'm always looking around and checking where I'm going. Because yeah, when I work at Madison Square Garden, as y'all know, I got my ID definitely gets me into a lot of different rooms and buildings and stuff. So I'm always looking around to make sure that people are not following. There's even points, and it pisses me off when I'm working sometimes, when a lot of us have been dismissed and we walking through certain doors. There's a specific door that gets us like backstage or whatever the case was, and there'd be nobody around there, whatever. What irritates me is that these damn the people that I work with, the guest services, leave the damn door open while we're going in. And there be times the guests be following us on, you ain't supposed to come in here. The stairs is right there. Keep on going. And a lot of times I'll pull the door closed and make sure, I'm like, can y'all make sure this door is like this door should not be left open? Because people seeing doors is open and you got people just wandering through doors or whatever. And it just baffles me that people don't really think about stuff like that. I'm always on alert when I'm working. So it's just like I'm looking around, I'm making sure like and I'm looking at other people, they just be there watching the whole show. Like y'all forgot y'all here to work too. I watch 30%, like the part of the job is 30%. I'm supposed to be focused on watching the show. If I'm on the floor, I don't worry about it too much. Well, I do worry, but I don't worry about it too much because I know I got way more people on the floor that if anything happens, I can go and rely on them to help out in certain situations. But when you're above, like higher above the floor, it's less people working in a lot of those places. You have to be alert. You got to be vigilant. But I just feel like a lot of people don't think. If there was a way that they could clone a bunch of me to do the jobs that need to be done in a lot of these places, who knows? The world might be a better place. But yeah. So you just like you got to watch it when it comes to these people. When y'all clocking into different places or using your key card to get in different places, you need to pay attention to who. You need to pay attention to your damn surroundings. And I do wonder, did that employee get fired? I mean, I don't know if it necessarily wasn't their fault or will they get blamed for that, or is it that okay? So it or was that person that they followed, was he a was that the security guard? So they said Trulove then stepped towards Melvin and allegedly called him a racial slur, to which Melvin said, "That's what you wanted to get arrested for?" Trulove allegedly replied, "I always wanted to call a black famous person a slur." Swear to Christ, these people out here that think like the way they do, y'all really are, and I don't care. I'm gonna use it. Y'all are fucking retarded. Y'all really are. Like, I just don't get. I always want to call a famous person a nigga. Like, really? Y'all wake up like what is it? What is up with saltines who literally all y'all think about? Y'all got black people on y'all brain all day, every day. Y'all think about what black people doing. Y'all sit out here just jealous of black people who are successful in life because you feel like the world owes you something. The world don't owe you shit. Everybody got to get up off their ass, pull themselves up out of bootstrap, whatever that bootstrap is, and figure out how they're going to make it in the world. The world is unforgiving. So for you to sit up in here and think, well, I always want to call somebody and I always want to punch a racist in the mouth where they be swallowing their damn teeth. So I just don't understand these people. It's like, well, guess what? Now your racist, stupid ass is in jail on a $10,000 bail that you can't even afford to pay to get your ass out. And I wouldn't be surprised you get these damn racists out here that are going to set up a goddamn GoFundMe. But then again, I think like when it comes to stuff like that, you can't even set up GoFundMes to be able to get people out of jail. So you can rot in that prison, sir. You better hope a big old black man named Bubba don't start invading your stink, funky ass, swamp ass of a hole in regards to your racist stuff. I was trying to look to see if there was a response Because I could have oh yeah, they did say that. Because I was looking for it. It was like Craig Melvin addresses today's show studio intruder arrest. So he did address it. So they said during oh God, here we go with the goddamn ads. Okay, so they said during a Friday, July 17th broadcast, Craig Melvin addressed the incident involving an individual who snuck into the studio and confronted him the day prior. So thankfully, he was apprehended quickly. He was placed under arrest, the anchor said, adding the show is cooperating fully with the NYPD as they investigate the matter. We are just very happy for that everyone is safe. Now, co-anchor Laura Jarrett, filling in for Savannah Guthrie, said to Melvin, "We want to make sure that you're safe," with him adding safe and sound. The New York City Police Department previously confirmed a suspect was in custody after officers responded to a disorderly person inside the building at 30 Rockefeller Center at 9 a.m. And so we already got through what had happened because you already heard. And the one thing I love about MSG too, because I know we're talking about Rockefeller Center, I mean Rockefeller Plaza. One thing I love about MSG, we have a lot of NYPD that works in there as well. So you will get apprehended quickly if you do some dumb shit up in there. You will be put under arrest immediately. So shout out to you, Craig. I'm glad that everything is copacetic on your end, but that's got to be scary when you're doing your job and whatever the case is. You got to deal with crazy ass people in the world that want to do you harm, whether it be verbally or physically. Because people out here done lost was left for their damn mind. Mental health is real in this country. And it definitely, I mean, look what we got in the White House. A big ass mental case. Who loves being a racist piece of shit? So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Craig Melvin and dealing with a racist intruder? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Well, Michael Strahan is on ABC, not NBC. But yeah, I get what you mean. Megan Kelly hates Craig Melvin. Gives a fuck about that long jawed man looking bitch, saying she can't really say why she does because all her NDA over her settlement. But it sounds like he played a hand in her getting. I mean, she should have been fired. She's a horrible human being and a racist. So her ass need to be out of a damn job. Now she online using racial stuff in order to maintain a check. Anyway, let's get back into some more hot topics. How many more topics we got? Oh, hold on now. So now we're down to our final four topics. Before we get to those final four, please hit the like button, subscribe, smash the notification bell, hype the show, all the things that's going to help push the show out there in that good old algorithm. And as I stated before, thank you all that sit up in here, you loyal watchers, and continue to support this messy show. Please and thank you. Now, without further ado, let's talk about Lorde, who's got a bit of a gripe with Spotify, and they've apparently got some new feature where AI is about to take over the whole music landscape, and she is not here for it. So Spotify has wielded AI to curate your perfect playlist, personalize your music recommendations, and role play as an AI DJ that talks to you about your music. I don't like that. Nope, I don't need all that. Let me pick what I want to pick. Now, the streaming platform wants to tell you what your favorite song really means. Not everyone is pleased with the latest development, however. Now, on Thursday, Grammy winning artist Lorde took to social media to call out Spotify over its About the Song feature and accused the streaming behemoth of sharing inaccurate information while also overstepping artistic boundaries. Now, according to Spotify, the new feature is in beta and produces summaries by pulling from third party sources to surface interesting details and behind the scenes moments. See, I don't like this because what this basically says is that you're in here posting things about celebrities when it's like, when I was in the studio and I recorded that song, this is what I basically felt when I was creating the song at the time. You're putting things in the stuff and you're saying this is what Lorde was dealing, or any artist was going through in regards of making this record. It's like, no, that's not what inspired me to make that song. And especially, it's going to affect Madonna because, Madonna doesn't even like talking about her work process. You hear that from like Stuart Price or anybody who's worked with her. She doesn't really talk about her music. She lets the art speak for itself. So when you got AI coming up in here and basically trying to orchestrate and create summaries of or synopsis of situations, it's bullshit. And I don't like the fact that AI is coming up in here trying to curate things that may or may not be true. I also don't like the idea of AI basically trying to maneuver me into making me want to listen to whatever it is you want me to listen to. Thank God I don't deal with Spotify. But I don't want to necessarily just ring it on Spotify because who knows if this is successful, Apple Music might jump on this bandwagon. I mean, we already have like, Apple Music already does like mixing, and I'm sure it's AI doing it. Whenever I listen to playlists or whatever, if I'm listening to a specific song, it automatically does this whole mixing, automatic mixing of the tracks. So we're already in that territory with Apple Music, but I don't know. Soon they might pick up on that. So on IG Stories, Lorde shared a screenshot of a Spotify AI description for her song Current Affairs, which read, on her Ultrasound World Tour, Lorde turns current affairs into a full-on performance piece, stripping down to underwear while a dancer pours water over. First of all, I worked that show, so this is not even true. I mean, what they're describing. Anyway, so it says that stripping down to underwear while a dancer pours water over her stomach, so the song plays out like a shower scene she talks about on stage. Then the caption for the post, Lorde tagged the streaming service, said, "Hey Spotify, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we don't want this. Not only is this inaccurate, not the song I did that in, but reducing a song to an AI generated meaning right at the source feels like it limits free interpretation, in my opinion. At least make it possible for artists to opt out." And that's what I was saying too. Is like a lot of times when artists make music, they don't want um even take AI out of it. They don't want to let you, because I feel like when I listen to music, sometimes when I listen to a song, I want to be able to interpret the way I want to interpret it. I mean, it's cool if and the nerd side of me gets into it and be like, okay, so this is really what she meant, or this is really the process of when you created that song. But I want to be able to use my imagination and be able to come up with my own thesis or my own theory on what she came up, why she came up with this song, whatever, in my own little world or whatever the case is. I don't want an AI or other artist to spoil it for me. So for y'all to come out and not even allow there to be an option, you just coming in here and just decided, okay, so we're just going to put all this information out here and people are going to believe it. And it's like, no, that's not literally what I meant when I was creating the song. That's not what this was about when I created this. So yeah, y'all need to do better about all this other stuff. And to me, AI is basically just doing what humans are programming them to do. So, AI powered tools in music are causing seismic shifts in the music industry. Many of the top artists in the world have been utilizing AI in studios, though it's mostly done behind closed doors for now. In March, Rolling Stone published a report about how producers and songwriters have added AI into the process, calling it the "don't ask, don't tell" era of AI in music. Do y'all think that AI is going to go the way of the auto tune? Like, remember, people who did not like auto tune at first. Now people are incorporating auto tune in the music. So now we're using AI. And my thing is this: I don't have an issue with AI if it's going to help enhance certain situations. But when you get into the abuse of it, that's when it becomes a problem. So in this case, I don't like AI for this case. If you want to use like little tools or whatever to help enhance or help bring forth your idea, then I'm here for it. So I don't have a complete disdain for artificial intelligence because it is inevitable. It's going to show up whether we want it to or not. But the abuse factor in this whole case, I don't like it for this. So they said as AI continues to impact every facet of the society, of the industry, sorry, both artists and listeners are grappling with how it's changing the way music is both created and consumed. For many who revel in the nuances of a song and its unlimited possibilities, having an AI bot take the mystery out of the experience is rather dull, especially if it can't get its facts straight. Absolutely, and that is the point. Is the fact that I love the nuance of a song. I love the fact that I can listen to something and just create my own world and use my imagination in regards of what that song means to me as I'm listening to it. But having a machine come in and just remove the mystery and also get their facts wrong, that is a problem. And all of this is stemming, the machine is only doing what the human is telling it to do. So somebody is programming this stuff in this machine for you to believe this bullshit about this artist. And so I have a problem with that. And I definitely think that if enough people speak up on it, maybe Spotify will reconsider. But so far, it's only Lorde that has come out and said something. So I need other artists to come out and get on the team as well. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding AI pretty much just sticking a demonic hooves more so further into the music industry with this latest slop? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. All right, let's see what y'all are saying over in the comments. Rumors are the viewers moving to YouTube, so the FCC. Well, you know what? They're already on YouTube. They're already on YouTube. They do full episodes. Sometimes I do watch the clips and things on there. If they move to YouTube, then that's great. If they have to look, I know my parents watch The View, and I have to tell them, look, y'all better you better create a YouTube page because that's the only way y'all gonna watch it. Um, and you know, I live on YouTube, so it's not an issue. If I need to pull a clip or whatever the case is, I'll definitely go over there and bring it on to the show. So, and look, the Oscars is about to go to YouTube. I think in 2028 or 2029. Like, so the Oscars about to move over there because that's inevitable. Like, people aren't really watching the Oscars on regular TV, so might as well put it on YouTube. Even the FCC decision won't impact the move to YouTube is being called smart as it's more politically leans, especially because you know I get political on YouTube and it hasn't affected me. So I definitely think if y'all want to be able to do the show as freely as y'all want, you definitely gonna have to move it over to YouTube, and people are just gonna have to get with the technology. They were like I said, they were already moved. You could watch the view on YouTube, just like you can watch. I think you can watch Tamara Hall on YouTube too, but I think it's just the clips. They didn't put the whole thing up there. Sherry's show was on YouTube. And the good thing about it being on YouTube, you could leave you could leave comments and everything on there, and people trustworthy people definitely leave comments over there on the views page. Queen Lord justifying my reasoning for leaving Spotify. The DJ feature is basically the same thing as the your name station. The DJ recommended your most replayed track. Paris Jackson is demanding the courts fire John Brinker and have him pay her. Well, damn. Well, we'll have to save that for the next show. Spotify is a tech company. That's what people don't understand. It's no longer a streaming service. They're a tech company, so you embrace them, and they did false advertise. Well, the good thing I don't fuck with Spotify. I mean, I have Spotify. I told y'all the only time I check out Spotify is for their podcasts, but I've barely even been listening to the podcast over there. So, um, I stick with Apple Music. Apple Music already has biographies underneath albums that are written by editors, which absolutely, because a lot of times when I go and I listen to a new album, there definitely will be when you click on the artist and it goes through like what the artist was talking about, what inspired them to make this record, and it definitely does have a whole situation. It's like literally reading an article from Billboard. So I like that they have over there. And you said editors with talent. So bravo Apple Music. AI is being used not for educational or time saving, but for this foolishness. Facts are facts. The biggest capitalists in the world are promoting their own AI companies so they can keep more money that would have went to coders that studied and developed their skill. And that was another thing too. Was like, yeah, I had to learn coding and all the other stuff when I went to film school because that was like when cameras were on the cusp of going digital. So I was literally learning how to use digital cameras. You had to learn coding, all that other stuff. And now it's like if that was something that I would have really pursued and was making money that way, that's putting people like me out of business and wanted to keep the stuff with an AI or because it's cheaper. But then the money is going to these AI companies, which is basically killing our environment and sucking up our water. Because that idiot president decided to go on a rant because Kathy Hochul put a kibosh on that and was like, no, we're not doing AI data centers in New York. And yeah, we don't need that. Because like I said, bad enough, we already had to deal with that damn fire, all that smoke from that damn wildfire in Canada. I couldn't even stay outside for 5 minutes yesterday. That's how bad the air was. It was literally orange outside. That's how bad this stuff was. Today, the air quality is a lot better. When I went outside, the sky was actually blue and I could see the sun. So, but the past couple of days, the air quality in New York was god awful. Like Diplo said, you either embrace it or get back behind the times. I don't want to work with humans anyway, needing sleep, taking a day off because a dog died. Well, he's not an artist, so he wouldn't know. I mean, no shade of Diplo. He's cute and all, but you a damn colonizer of music. I was listening to Virgin earlier this year. I mean, earlier this week, and I really wish Lorde didn't become out of touch. So many good songs on this album and solar power that will never be appreciated by the average pop fan. Virgin was the latest album, right? She was promoting the hell out of that album on the tour. But yeah, I do agree. She had a lot of really good songs on that record, and the tour was actually pretty good. But yeah, they definitely dropped the ball with that record. He said AI doesn't need to eat, sleep, or go to bed. Yeah, but oh my God, that man's an idiot. But whatever. Thank God he's cute. He says, sidebar, did you see the Fiona Apple came out of hiding? I gagged. She got the urge to reach out to her fans and let us know she's writing music about what's going on. Yeah, well, my Virgo sister, we love to hibernate. Is there a latest picture of Fiona Apple? Let me see. Oh, they're saying that she wrote the theme song. That's probably why she came out of hiding. She's 48. September 13th, 1977. I told her that's my Virgo sister. But she wrote the theme song for Apple TV Plus series Lucky. That's the new show with Anya Taylor Joy that I haven't seen yet. So that's probably what it is. She came out of hiding to promote that. But they said that she shares an update about trying to write about the current state of the world. Okay, so I found your story. I mean, you said, well, what you were talking about. You said, I just didn't want you to think that I was turning a blind eye. Well, y'all know I love me some Fiona Apple. So, if she does come out with a new record, because remember when she was at the VMA, she told us the world was bullshit. That's how she started out that. That's how she started her speech. Rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, but I was like, "Yep, that's how we talk." It's like we'll get our war, but we'll still get up there and tell y'all what y'all don't want to hear. The new video of Fiona Apple can be found on Zelda Horman on Instagram. It's not a long video, so you could share it with the class. Well, hold on. Let me go over to Instagram. Well, child, why am I opening and automatically I'm seeing booty cheeks? Because y'all know what I like over here. Hold on. No, not notification. Um, says Zelda Horman. Is this it? But not Instagram getting on my nerves because why is it rendering it? It's acting a fool over here. What is going on? Oh, this is her? Well, child, she look a little older. Hold on. I found a girl. I found her. Share screen. Did I get it?
I couldn't sleep, and I just all of a sudden got overtaken with this urge to reach out, and you haven't seen me in a while because this kind of thing, it's just really, really uncomfortable with it nowadays. But I just find myself really wanting to reach out just to people who care about what I'm doing, because I wonder if you're wondering if I'm even trying to write about what's going on in the world right now. And I just wanted to tell you that I am. I'm trying. I'm really struggling with it. If you're writing about yourself, it's one thing. Nobody can tell you that you're saying it wrong. Nobody can get let down. Nobody can, you're the authority. But when it concerns what's happening to other people, it just becomes so important. And maybe I'm letting perfect get in the way of good. But like, even when I did pretrial, I had at least, years, thousands of cases that they had firsthand witness. I felt like I had a handle on that. And even then, I didn't know if I was the right person to write about it. I didn't know if I was saying it all right. I kind of felt I wasn't. I couldn't say it all. But now, with this fucking endless barrage of horrors, it's hard to focus. And when you do focus, I just keep on second and third and 10th and millionth guessing myself if I'm the one to say it or if I'm saying it right. And anyway, I just didn't want you to think that I was turning a blind eye, or that I didn't see what was going on, or that I didn't care. I fucking care. Or that I'm not trying, and I am trying, and I don't know if I'm going to succeed. I don't know. But I just don't want to let anybody down. I don't know. I'm letting myself down right now. I know that as an artist, because I feel like that's our job, And I know that there's other things to do other than writing songs, and I'm doing what I can elsewhere. But, this is my job to show what's going on, right? That's what I want to try to do, and I'm going to keep trying. Anyway, I'm going to stop babbling at you. This is just for people who care about what I'm doing, by the way. I know this is not important to everybody. I know everybody's not expecting something from me, but I'm expecting something from me. Anyway, I'm going to stop babbling at you. I'm sending you so much love. I just really just wanted to, I don't know. I'm going to go to bed now. I hope this made sense.
Yeah, pause it there. So, it just looks like that Fiona is, well, you know what, us Virgos, we're very much empaths, we're very sensitive, and we're very good at, we pick up on a lot of energy and stuff, and we always got issues. This is why I think I relate to her in a lot of ways because, well, one, we share the same sign, but also whenever there's issues going on and stuff, I don't know, it's always been ingrained in me. I don't even know if I was raised that way or whatever, but I've always been the one to question things, always speak out against things that don't sit right with me. And yes, it's got me in trouble in a lot of ways. And then there's other ways where people thank me for it, but I don't care. I'd rather you think I'm an asshole than someone who's just going to sit idly by and allow shit to happen. So Zelda Hallman basically went and said, Fiona gave me this video to share. She's been trying to find a truthful way to speak to the enormity of what's happening in the world, from the horror in Gaza and Sudan to the cruelty being aimed at trans kids, to the assault on women's bodily autonomy, to the abuse and terror being inflicted on immigrants and their families, to the erosion of voting rights and civil liberties, to the disappearance of Indigenous and Black children, so often met with silence, and to so much more suffering and injustice that could be named or addressed in a single statement. This is where she is. So, then there was somebody that said that basically, as a Palestinian, I want to thank you for using your platform and your privilege. 90% of my white friends of 3 decades told me they were uncomfortable with my voice, told me to shut up, get back in line, and one yelled at me twice, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So there's a lot of, so you know what, if Fiona has something to say and she wants to come out of hiding and this is where she feels like this is where she could use her voice and stuff, then I'm here for it. But only come out when you are ready and you have something to say. Because I know like a lot of times when they're saying that she's been feeling all this, like she's been overwhelmed, and I feel like that's where a lot of us are right now, especially in this current regime. We're just overwhelmed, we're anxious, we've got a lot of emotions that are kind of going at each other at the same time, and trying to figure out, because I feel like I'm the same way, trying to put all of this stuff in words, it could be overwhelming. So that's why I think, like, you know what, maybe she should sit down, just write everything on paper, and find someone, a producer, whatever the case is, who could help her take all of her thoughts, because it's been a minute she's been out there making music, and find someone who can help her structure all this stuff. Because to me, I feel like Fiona Apple was making the music Lorde was making before Lorde was making it. So shout out to Fiona. We definitely would love to see you back out here making music. Look, we see Sarah McLachlan's coming out of, retirement and been performing. We got Shania Twain releasing new music and out here performing. A lot of the icons are back. The Chicks is out there performing again. So a lot of the women that I grew up seeing in my, on TV and on MTV and so, all of them are making a comeback. So Fiona, when you're ready, we'll be waiting. I remember in 1997, she was canceled by everybody, including people like you. Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I guess I was young and dumb at the time. I didn't understand what was going on. But now that we're older, it was like we get what was going on. I wasn't really paying attention to the world's issues at that time. Zoda's her roommate, a picture of Fiona with "I voted" sticker could also be found on the account. And trying to normalize their sexual human beings, not asexual as straight people prefer gay people to be. Even her sex book had a section of lesbian sex and Madonna and confirmed new girl. Who's about Ingrid Caceres? Or Jenny Shimizu? Oh yeah, the gay men being sexual with the Golden Arrow gay corn stars. Shout out to Joey Stefano. He definitely know how to take dick. Is that watching the video of Fiona again boosted my mood? Fiona drops once in a blue moon, but never disappoints with a bad album. Top five artists of all time. And it's funny, wasn't Fiona before your time? And you up in here living for the music. He said, but in the 80s and 90s, Joey was considered hot and that, well, he was good looking. His video was hot sellers and theater. I mean, I remember I always hung out with the older homosexuals. And I knew they used to live for Joey Stefano. That's how I got to see a lot of his films. PBS. Are we talking about the network? I like Fiona's last album. Remember that When the Dawn? That was a long ass title for that album. He said, "This is my sign to finally explore Fiona Apple's." Yes, you should explore that music. All right, y'all. So now let's get back into the show. We'll get into more comments later on. Cheryl, let's talk about this mess of a show because they definitely need the ratings. That's why they got all these people in this cast. So fat ass George Santos done got him a gig over there on that Special Forces show over on Fox. And so he calling y'all out because y'all was calling him fat. And he defending the most problematic people in the industry. Brandi Glanville, where she got face rot. Because I don't know what's going on with her. She had a parasite in her face, and that's why that face been a hot mess. And Candace Cameron Bure, that fake ass Christian, she needed check. So now she over there doing this show. So disgraced Congress. So there's a lot of disgraced people on this damn show. George Santos fired back at the haters on Wednesday after he and some of his special forces world's toughest test castmates faced criticism. Now, expelled Congressman and former politician, I heard he was still, after he got out of jail, he was still committing white collar crimes. George Santos is defending himself and his special forces co-stars from all the criticism following their casting announcement. So Santos took to social media to address the hate he and his co-stars Brandi Glanville and Candace Cameron Bure have been receiving after it was revealed they will be starring in the Fox competition series. Because remember, Brandi Glanville got accused of S.A.ing Caroline Manzo on that girls trip show, which I heard like the show, because of with the controversy, the show was buried, so we ain't never gonna see it. She has denied the accusations. I remember there was a court situation going on about it, but I think it just didn't materialize. So he said to all the haters talk about me being fat or Brandi Glanville's skin and wishing ill on Candace C. Bure, amongst the other mean, horrible things in the comment section, Santos posted on Twitter, the micro-blogging platform formerly, well, no, it is still Twitter. I don't know what you're talking about. Now, he continued, you could not walk a day in any of our shoes. We are humans. We put ourselves out there and we have thick skin. Well, if you had thick skin, you wouldn't need to take to Twitter to write this shit. Now, I can handle banter, but vicious, vile, mean comments are uncalled for. Go step on grass and then watch us all thrive, taking on an insane challenge and kicking ass. Now, well, look, the real protest will come. Y'all don't watch the show because quiet as it's kept. Let's be real. The reason why they cast these people on here is because they knew it'd be controversial. They knew y'all to be talking, and they need the ratings. And this ain't the first time a reality TV show has cast some controversial people. Dancing with the Stars did it quite a few times by putting a lot of disgraced Republican politicians to compete on Dancing with the Stars. I mean, they went home early, but they know they do all of this because they want to get y'all riled up, and they know that controversy breeds ratings. And now we at a state where network TV is competing with streaming, so they need all the drama they can get. They got to stir the pot. So in another post on Twitter, Santos said, "OMG internet, yes, I'm fat, LOL," and followed up with another one where he said, "You gonna see this fat boy move like no skinny person ever." Okay, girl. Maybe you know what? And we've seen shows like this where people start out fat, and by the time the show was over, they lost a lot of weight. So he'll probably get in the best shape. Is like now. The question remains: whose titties is bigger? Maybe I need to create another poll. Hold on. Let's create that poll right now. Wait, where's my poll situation? Let's new poll. Whose titties, not S titties, because I heard Selena S titties over there being messy on Big Brother, and she already told somebody a plan on who she was trying to get eliminated, and don't realize the person she told her plan to is working with that person that you're trying to eliminate. So your plan might backfire, Miss S titties. Who titties are bigger? Option 1, George Santos. Option 2, Brandi Glanville. Option 3, okay, create. Put it in the chat. Hold on. Now I got to take one of the damn things out. This is the annoying part. Um, is it up there? No. Why can't I see it? I hate when this happens. It's like, show the poll, show the poll. There it is. Thank you. So, who titties is bigger? I need y'all for number 1, pick George Santos. Number 2, Brandi Glanville. Number 3, Candace Bure. In the chat, who titties is bigger? We being messy over here on the show. But anyway, so in another post on we talked about the fat thing. Now, prior to responding to the criticism, he had shared that his followers that he will be starring in the show, where he said, "You guys, I did a thing and I'm excited to share it with y'all. The experience changed my perspective in life, and it was the most humbling thing I've ever done." Well, the fact that you too could be a white collar criminal, y'all can committing all kinds of white collar crimes and stealing people money and using it for your own personal gain, going to jail for it, getting pardoned by Donald Trump, and becoming a reality star? Is that what you learned? A follow-up post where he shared his portrait read, "I took my fat behind off the couch and tried something new, and it changed everything. And the fact of the matter was irritate me in this country is that we keep rewarding people for bad behavior." So in addition, we do have other people that's on the show. Matt Barnes, the NBA player and podcaster. Alicia Baumgardner, I don't even know who that is. She's a world champion boxer. David Charvet, who y'all know best known for being an actor. He was on Baywatch. The thorn in Kate Gosling's ass, Colin Gosling. I like him because he's going after his mother and she's a vile human being. So shout out to Colin Gosling. Oliver Hudson, yes, Kate Hudson brother. LaShawn McCoy, who was an NFL Super Bowl champion. Maxim Naumov, who's an Olympic figure skater. We got Ruby Rose. She could definitely use a check. But wasn't she caught up in some controversy where she accused she accused Katy Perry of assaulting her in the club. So she's in there. Of course, we mentioned George Santos, who's a congressman. Hannah Stocking, who's a comedian, Brianna TC, who's from Selling Sunset, and then we got Kyle Richards' daughter and her ex-husband, Alexia Umansky, and Mauricio Umansky. So hopefully he's on the show to compete and not trying to fuck all the cast members. But then again, if they're not 23, he ain't sticking his dick in them, allegedly. So I need y'all to put the numbers in the chat. I need more people to vote. Who titties is bigger? Because then I gotta do a whole poll situation. George Santos, Brandi Glanville, or Candace Cameron Bure. Not Felix said George looked like he need a bra. Wanda says Brandi Glanville. I thought y'all would have picked George Santos because in my opinion, his boobs is bigger. I mean, he got the biggest breasts up in here. Well, we'll see if Ruby Rose actually goes after Candace and George. I don't know if she got, she'll go after people for, him being opportunistic. These, it can't stand these homosexuals, these self-hating homosexuals who jump on the side of MAGA and then forget that at the end of the day, they will remind you that you want faggot when stuff hits the fan. So, we'll see how all this turns out. But according to the poll, where is it? Oh my God, I spelled Brandi Glanville name wrong. I put Bernade. Well, apparently I'm dyslexic tonight. So Brandi Glanville won pretty much with the poll. Working like you're working the poll. Or whatever it was that Janet said. So yeah, so there you got it. I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Will y'all be watching Special Forces? Quiet as it's kept. I didn't even watch the show prior to her being this cast being on here, so I don't know if I even care enough. Like I wanted to watch it when Teresa Giudice and her daughter Gia was on it, but I never got around to watching it. Have you ever watched Special Forces? Is it a good show to watch? Will you guys be watching because of the controversy? And yeah, it was like they knew what the casting knew what they were doing when they put these has-beens on there. They knew I was going to say George Lopez. They knew George Santos was going to be an issue. They knew it was get y'all riled up and y'all would be up in here making the fat jokes or whatever the case was. And they knew that by putting Candace controversial homophobic ass on the show that it will be controversial. And Brandi make good TV, but sometimes she do OD in regards of some of the stuff that she does on the show. So it'll be interesting to see how all this works out. Whatever your thoughts on this matter, let me know in the comments down below. Neither will I, but it was good to talk about. But anyway, okay. Now, speaking of homosexuals, let's talk about Frankie Grande. So Frankie Grande, and I know this started a whole situation on social media, and we definitely gonna talk about it because I'm gonna get to them comments that a lot of people were saying in regards to this whole situation. So Frankie Grande recently stated that he has been dealing with femmephobia, specifically from his fellow homosexuals in the community and stuff, because he embraces his femininity and some people, he says, have a problem with it. I mean, I've met Frankie quite a few times. The last time I came in, I was in the same room with Frankie because I seen him at the Big Apple Circus. He was like, when I worked there, he was one time he was at the Big Apple Circus. He was the celebrity ringmaster. Then there was another time where I saw Frankie. He was at the AMC in Times Square when I worked there at the time. This was like in 2014, 2015, or whatever the case was. And I forget, he went to see a movie in IMAX. He was gracious, said hi to everybody, whatever. Because I was working there late at night. And when they was emptying out, he came out, signed autographs, people saying hi, took pictures, all that other stuff. Third time I came in proxy, I said, I keep running into this man. Third time I saw Frankie was at Alaska's show that she had off Broadway, where she was doing this thing about like a rival nightclub or whatever the case was, and Juju B was in it. Jan was in it. Jan Sport. Bunch of the who else? It was a bunch of Drag Race girls that was in the show. I even posted a picture of me in Alaska recently online because we were talking about like the Drag Race fandom and all that other stuff. So then people was like, "Who was the best of your favorite Drag Race girl that you've encountered?" And I said Alaska, and I posted a picture. Also, Tsunami Muse, because I took a picture of her. Luxmore London's also in it. That's what made me remind of that as well. But that's neither here nor there. So that was another time I met him. Frank is actually pretty nice. He's always down to take a photo. He's never been rude or nasty in the many a times I've encountered him. But I know a lot of people have a problem with him because he's a bit flamboyant. He even has a book out that basically talks about his gayness. Doesn't he have a book out called Super Gay? So, to get into the story, it says Frankie Grande basically has spoken about the femmephobia that he has experienced within the Levitical Plus community, saying writing his memoir, Super Gay, helped him finally make sense of it. Now, speaking backstage at Titanic on Broadway, he said, I didn't understand why I got so much hate from gay men, and it's actually femmephobia. He said, per gaiety. I didn't understand that. Now that realization became the basis, his memoir, most personal chapters, that he says, what is it about me that is so scary to members within our community? Grande said that he has never felt the need to present in traditionally masculine ways. Says, I choose to present myself as female oftentimes, very often, not as a drag queen, but because I love makeup and I love heels and I love glitter and I love tight revealing outfits. So does Adam Lambert. So y'all kind of in the same boat. Except I will say, Adam is not as flamboyant as Frankie is. He says these things are shocking and defy even queer gender norms. So he likes to gender bend, which there's nothing wrong with that. He said, I like glitter. Um, I like to wear a lot of stuff. I don't want to do full on drag where I got to tuck my dick between my balls and wear women's clothes, but it's just I like all the things that are deemed feminine. He said, when I became a pop star, my very first thing I wanted to do was be Britney Spears. I wanted to be Madonna. I didn't want to be a male character. Now, writing the memoir also led him to conclude that the backlash he faces is rooted in misogyny as much as homophobia. It's because I'm a man who chooses to present female, and why would you do that? Because women are deemed lesser. I'm a victim of misogyny as a femme presenting man, which is crazy to me. The way that I'm hated and more is more in line with the way women are hated than the way gay men are hated. He has a point, but I also think that the reason why people have a problem with Frankie because they feel like because of the way he comes across, yes, with the feminine attributes and everything, that he can be a bit extra, a little over the top. I feel like that's the way they kind of look at Billy Porter too. So with a lot of the ways that he presents himself in a lot of those ways, people have a problem with that. But of course, when I posted this on my page, people was in the comments. One person said, gay, we all are one. Well, from what he said, I don't understand why I got so much hate from gay men. I recently realized it wasn't just homophobia. It's because I'm a cisgender man who chooses to present myself in a feminine way. And that challenges even queer gender norms. Because, the gays have always been conditioned to hate being feminine because we've always had people who come at straight people come at feminine men. You rhymes with maggot, the derogatory slurs, kids get beat up, picked on for showing any ounce of femininity. I mean, I had to deal with that, even not even understanding what a fag was, where I got called that word. And it being deemed based off the tone, it was a negative. So you spend a lot of time trying to mask the feminine attributes. Me, I don't give a fuck. I'd be like, I'm a proud butch queen. So you get the butch and the femme, and I like playing in between both of those worlds because it's fun. And plus, you'd be surprised when you present all of them attributes. You'd be surprised the type of men that hit on you. So one person said, gay, we all are one. That's the whole point of demonstrating gay pride. More than once a year, we are proud pride every day in our everyday life, and we are not separated from each other, therefore existing, living, loving freely. Inequality is our human oneness, right? Gays who are marching together for gay pride are hating gays now, like WTF. Stop dividing and create more chaos when we are here to unite in equality. I wish that was the truth, but the reality is people just our community is very divisive in a lot of ways, and it's easy. Like we tend to be our worst enemy, bullying other people within our community because they present in a feminine way. And then another person said on this one, two things can be true at once. He can personally be a great guy, but fuck, is he annoying? So I think that maybe the root of it is like, yeah, that's true. That there are people within the community that can be pretty much femphobic, but Frankie, you are annoying, and it's no shade. You can be annoying at times in the way you do. Like even recently when he went to the board the border of Brooklyn and Queens for the Madonna thing, even he was being annoying in his video. They was recording that he was there. Another person, honestly, he looks nicer than his sister. I'm sure Ari is a sweetheart to her fans, and maybe I'm wrong, but he seems like he doesn't let his sister's fame get to him and doesn't act entitled. And he has been able to carve out his own lane outside of what his sister is doing. Yes, Ariana is the biggest star, but Frankie, he fits a certain niche, and he is successful. He does Broadway. Well, his sister's about to do the West End, but he does Broadway, and he has his little pop career. Another person said people tend to be mean to flamboyant queer people. Also, being a sibling of one of the biggest pop stars in the world must be super hard too. Another person said gays make fun of sissies because it makes them feel more masculine and socially acceptable. Fuck the toxic masculinity, fuck the patriarchy, and eat the rich. One person said, God, I hate him. I'm like, first of all, you don't even know the person to hate them. So I don't understand why people would say that. Well, one person said, I met him in person, wasn't the nicest person. Well, that's one. Another person, I agree, but I don't agree with the reason why. People pick on him simply because he's Ariana's brother. Another person, I met him many times and he's always been gracious. I've learned that the gay community is inclusive was a big old lie the moment I observed the nightlife and pseudo community. Bunch of clout chasing emotional vampires ready to drown in their own narcissism and vanity. The real community are the femmes. Well, films can be bullies too, but yeah, there's a lot of situations where I do agree with that. That a lot of the thing where even when who was it when Maya did an interview with Joseph Shepard and she was like, "Oh, I love the gay community because they're always like family oriented and inclusive," and that might be true in certain places, but we got a lot of bullies running around in our stuff too. So we ain't as inclusive as we let on. Michael Karpinski, you are shady. He said he's a Heather, I'm a Veronica. That's my inclusion. Another person said, well, I'm sorry I am by now so disgusted by the gay world. So many gay men judge like crazy, have a million hangups, can be so vicious, so competitive, such prima donnas, and so unwilling to make real contact with their brothers slash sisters. Brotherhood, sisterhood, where? And so many of them have internalized homophobia. Therefore, I am not one bit surprised they will vomit hate and so much of it, especially on a cisgender man who feminizes himself. Because if they can do that so well with gay men who feminizes themselves as a result of their feeling that their masculinity is threatened, imagine how threatened and scared they must feel before a feminized cisgender man. So many gay men have so many unresolved issues, are in so much pain, and never grow up. Few gay people dare say these things for fear of being accused of discriminating against their own brothers. uh what discrimination? It's called being observing in a detached and objective way. The gay world, there's very little room for real acceptance, especially these days. So yeah, it just goes on and on and on. There was a lot of people that commented on this, and that just gives me more credence to cut this clip up and put it on YouTube, because I'm sure a lot of people got up in there and comment on this, spark a debate like it did with Adam Lambert talking about that gay people or people like the whole thing about straight men or straight people coming at gay people and like being more accepting and that whole thing. And that was a whole controversy around that. And a lot of people jumped in the comments on this. So I definitely will cut this clip up because I definitely want to get people's opinions on this, because I definitely think this is an interesting debate. Because yeah, we definitely need to work on stuff in our own community. And there is a lot of bullying that happens because hurt people hurt people. And we need to do better as a community and just know that if it wasn't for a lot of the effeminate gay men and trans people, a lot of the rights that gay people take for granted today, we would not have that. So shout out to all the feminine queers out there in the world, changing, the way we receive things one situation at a time. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you agree with Frankie's assessment on why the whole thing regarding him getting so much hate from gay men, that he feels like it wasn't just homophobia, it's because that he is a man who chooses to present in a feminine way, and a lot of gay men don't like seeing that reflected. So it's easier to just, I guess, accept your favorite pop diva and falling behind them than supporting and getting behind someone who is choosing to show up as themselves unapologetically. Some people will say that you probably being a little extra, like, we know you feminine, but you be ODing with the feminine stuff. So and doing it for attention. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Mm. Frankie was lucky the cast of his season of Big Brother was so accepting of him, because he was flirting with all the guys. Child. Apple Music officially announced that rising prices to $12.99 in the US due to rising licensing fees. They tried not to, but the licensing fees are why we need to raise the prices. If you need to, email the labels and not be like the movie industry and increasing fees, because Apple spilled they wouldn't be raising licenses if Spotify and YouTube didn't have freemium version. Well, look, if y'all gonna be raising the prices for us to be paying more money, then y'all need to be paying these artists. They said they don't have a free YouTube and Spotify. And funny enough, I'm paying for YouTube now because I got tired of them damn ads. That's probably his personality. He's my age, but he hasn't calmed down. So I think older gays are having a hard time handling the fact that this is Frankie and him being loud and annoying. Look, he's in his early 40s. He's young still. He's single. Yes, he's teetering in middle age stage, but here's the thing that people need to understand. You straight folks, y'all be wanting to be the ones that at a certain age, y'all want to settle down, y'all want to have kids, you want to be in the bed by 10 o'clock, and you want to be doing this other stuff. People are conditioned like that. That's why I think people like Madonna, because Madonna is another one of those artists. She's like, I'm gonna be outside at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm not, who says I need to be in the house at 10 o'clock, getting married, being the matronly, whatever, whatever. It's like there's some people that just built where it's like, I like that whole world of being outside at like late at night and doing all the things. I'm not slowing down anytime. So I kind of feel that way too. It's like, why I gotta settle down and be in the house at a certain time? And so people do, I guess, look at it that he could be loud and annoying. Hmm. Frankie Grande has far more personality than most self-hating faggots. He seemed like a kind person too. You do you, okay? You do you, boo. Yes, many queer people are messed up, but a lot of it has to do with a severely traumatized adolescence as a direct result of society's normalization of queer. Absolutely. So it all boils down to the patriarchy and childhood traumas and all that stuff. I remember when Frankie made a video thrusting over Justin Bieber when old boy is 10 years younger than him, but he seems like a wonderful person. You didn't hit, well, I didn't even know about that. Quiet as a cat. There was a lot of people lusting after him. Nicki Minaj, Katy Perry. They was doing inappropriate stuff to him, but of course that's okay because they're women. I'm not saying you saying it's okay, but it seemed like, yeah, when girls be up in here doing sexualizing boys before they even understand what that is, then it's okay because, oh yeah, you're a man. I'm like, no, that's abuse. It should be accepted from either gender. Anyway, now speaking of gender, let's get into our final topic. Let's talk about RuPaul's Drag Race. So we got a winner. We got a winner, baby. First of all, I was a little annoyed because they didn't even use that song to close out the show. They said, "You're a champion." I'm like, really? I prefer I'm a Winner, baby, because I do love that song. That look, Rue, that's a bop. So you need to use your bops in regards of the show, whatever. But anyway, we got ourselves a winter of RuPaul's Drag Race. And we found the show's finally come to an end. I'm going to have to say I was underwhelmed by the finale. I like the whole fact that they did like a little disco situation. Quiet as a kept. We all knew who was gonna make it in the top two. I mean, we knew at the end of the day. Spoiler alert, if y'all don't want to hear it, whatever. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. We knew that at the end of the day it was gonna be between the first homosexual to ever compete on Drag Race, Joey J, and Crystal Method. That has been the rumor that has been floating around the internet for months. So I knew about that the whole damn time. Silky, you was a damn fool because we all wanted to see you go up against Akira. That would have been a great rematch from the fact that when you did your Barbie girl performance, that you and Akira are supposed to go head to head in the whole lip sync assassin thing where you was knocking down all the girls. That would have been a great performance. That would have been a great rematch. But you sat up there thinking, "Oh, I beat Dawn, and now I'm gonna go beat Joey J." And then I'm gonna get around to Akira. But I mean, or you thought you was gonna be Dawn first and then do the Akira thing. That's why you gotta knock him out in the beginning. You thought you was just gonna do whatever you did in the production. It was like, well, damn, now we gotta have Joey go up against Akira, and Akira's gonna get chopped. So now we're not gonna see that happen. But whatever, the drama between them two have been living out on social media. I already made enough videos on it, so it is what it is. So the RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 11 finale truly had it all, right from the start of the episode. The talented top six queens, Akira C. Davenport, Jasmine Kennedy, Silky Nutmeg Ganache, Crystal Method, Dawn, and Joey J were ready to snatch the crown. Now, the finale began with the competitors breaking down their rate of queen scores from the Tournament of All Stars Talent Rumble. Tension, of course, broke down in the workroom because Jasmine decided to come over. I got receipts and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. So Akira and Jasmine were basically challenging each other's numbers over originality, which, a lot of people didn't particularly care for the puppets, but girl, no shade. Even though Akira's puppet situation was a mess, I will say this. It was way more original than you doing a cheer. We've seen the cheerleader situation before. So what you brought was nothing new under the sun. Well, I will say this: Jasmine's was better executed, but at least I will say Akira gets an A for effort. And look, it even resulted in them clashing over on social media. And I did post a couple of the screenshots of their feud on my Facebook page if you want to go over and look at that. And so now, after a heartwarming sister chat between the queens during their final time in the workroom, it's time to hit the runway for the Lollapalooza. Now, it's a disco smackdown for the crown, so the contestants dressed up in their sickening 80s looks as they geared up for the ultimate lip sync battle to classic songs by Diana Ross, Barbara Streisand, Amy Stewart, and Cheryl Lynn. Now, with former guest judge Evan Mulroney, let me tell you something. I would have pulled down them little gold drawers and I would have shoved my face up in them cheeks. Because let me tell you, Evan's body was that man is a snack. I was not expecting him to be up there being a pit crew, and because he was a judge in the earlier episodes, but seeing him get up there and do like he was a pit crew, I was like, okay, I see you, Evan, in them little gold shorts, serving Rocky from Rocky Horror Picture Show. So, anyways, it was like he was an honorary member of the pit crew with the golden speedos on, and Silky's name was the first to be drawn, allowing her to choose her own opponent. And the Reverend Doctor decided to start light with Dawn, which kind of shady, and said, "Oh, she an easy pick, and I could take out easily. So let me pick Dawn." I was like, "Really, girl?" But after their performance, um, and Silky pulling out the batons, which I feel like we've seen her twirl batons before. Silky won the challenge. Dawn was the first one to be eliminated, which I don't think anybody was surprised by. So Dawn was being stupid up on stage, but I was like, girl, you could have did a whole lot better with that performance. So now the next face-off left us gooped when we basically found out that Akira and Joey would be battling to the tune of Diana Ross's The Boss, which I love that song. I was so wrong, so wrong. And I was up in there singing that song along with them while I was the performance. Y'all could definitely check out my recap, well, not recap, but my viewing party, whatever, on my Patreon. It's in the description. We can go over to the Patreon and you can watch me watch the final episode and laughing along and kicking and giving my overall thoughts as I was watching the episode. So, Akira had it in the bag. So, as some people thought. So then Rue went and picked Joey J to win. And I will say this: I don't think that Rue made the wrong decision. I definitely think that Joey put up a much bigger fight than Akira. Akira was twirling her little dress or whatever, but Joey was emoting. Joey was giving performance. Joey was giving drag. And that's what we want up there when we watch the performances and stuff. So to me, I'm looking at it curious. I've just felt like she was a bit low key in a lot of what she was doing up there. So maybe at this point, because of Jasmine and everybody else pretty much doubting her throughout the season, she kind of just like let her inner saboteur get the best of her, which she was talking about the inner saboteur while he was beating a face in the workroom and all this other stuff. So she let it get the best of her. Now, poor Joey barely even had a moment to catch her damn breath before the next lip sync came up, and then Silky Nutmeg Ganache basically made it over to the second round. And because Silky went and knocked out Dawn, she basically thought that she was going to knock out Joey. But Silky said that she was a fan of Barbra Streisand's The Main Event / Fight, but like Akira, I will say that Silky basically brought a subdued version of herself to the stage. She thought about pulling glitter out her titties and all the other stuff that was going to elevate her. I said, girl, we don't need tricks. We don't need you stripping. We don't need all that extra stuff. Joey got up there and emoted and gave full-on drag performance, which is why I believe she dominated that redemption lip sync SmackDown. And to me, I just felt like the girl that we saw during All Star 6, where she was knocking the girls out, where she was a lip sync, and she definitely pioneered the whole Lollapalooza lip sync SmackDown, because Silky was that girl during All Star 6, and I definitely feel like she popularized it. But her lip syncs was just a mess. Now, then we had Crystal and Jasmine getting to perform, where they did Amy Stewart's Knock on Wood, which I knew that was going to be a high energy performance. And Crystal basically stuck with what she normally does. She kept it kooky. Jasmine pulled out just every move in her arsenal. But I felt like the energy Jasmine wasn't giving high energy, in my opinion. I don't feel like that's what she was giving. But then Rue went and announced that Jasmine will be sashaying away and that Crystal would be the one that is making it to the finale as the top two. So of course then we get to our final two, which is Crystal, I was gonna say Versace, Crystal Method and Joey J. So I don't think anybody would have thought from the beginning that, well, I don't know. I feel like I don't think anybody thought Crystal would make it this far. But the way that we've been watching the show this season, I know a lot of people was feeling like, yeah, with production, the way they doing things, that, yeah, they are definitely trying to push Crystal to be in the finale. So no one should really be surprised that this is where they're trying to push the whole situation. But looking at all the girls in the finals, it's like, yeah, I definitely knew that they were pushing Crystal, because I told you, like, it leaked out weeks prior to the finale that Crystal and Joey J will be our final two queens going head to head. And the way that, especially that they've been treating Joey throughout the show and playing in our faces regards of some wins that she should have had, she has definitely been the dark horse. She has been the wild card. And I definitely love that she finally made it all the way to the end and basically was a fighter. And look, not even noted psychic Kelly Mantle could have seen all of this coming. So the queens perform the final song, which is MacArthur Park, another song, disco song that I love, from Donna Summer. I said they're not going to do the 12-minute version, or maybe they did. They just edited it down to 3. But they served looks. Joey basically had on the white feathers. Crystal wore a fiery number. Actually, I liked Crystal's look, and the look she wore prior. I was like, this is the most skin that I think we've ever seen Crystal wear the entire season, when she did her prior look before she changed her finale look. So, no shade, but I don't feel like either queen really brought it to that song. I don't feel like they emoted. Now, if y'all would have had Kennedy Davenport perform um, MacArthur Park, oh, she would have definitely won the show. But and shout out to Jasmine, I mean not Jasmine, to Kennedy Davenport, who there was another reality show that she was on. I forget what it was called, but I seen the show being advertised on Facebook. So I know if you go on her page, let me see if I look it up. There's a show. Oh, she won the Queen of Drag pageant. That's the name of the show. So she claimed the historic $50,000 grand prize. She also won the comedy rose over on All Stars 11. So yeah, she won. So she basically won the title Queen of Drag, and this is a show called Pageant Queens. I was trying to see if I could watch it, but I don't even know where I can watch the show because I saw that there was advertisements all over Facebook. But yeah, so she was the winner of that because I remember I happened to go on Twitter. What was it earlier today when I wanted to post my Patreon link and stuff for the show that I was doing, and for the viewing party of Drag Race. And I saw that she had won, and they posted the pictures and everything up on there. So congratulations to her on that. But yeah, I just felt like both of y'all performances to that song was, in the words of Ru, meh. But she had to crown a winner, and it turned out to be Crystal. And you know what? Shout out to her for winning because she is the second Latina to win the show. She's probably the first one to win All Stars. Bianca Del Rio being the first. I know some people be like, Ginger Minge is she's Hispanic, she won, but I'm like, girl, please. She ain't really never claimed her half Puerto Rican side, and she mentioned that in prior interviews. So people gonna feel like that don't count. Yeah, you might have a piece of Puerto Rican up in you, but if that ain't never been your ministry, then we're not gonna include you in being the first Hispanic to win All Stars. So we'll give it to Miss Rhythm of the Night, aka Crystal Method, won. And she said, now when they asked her, I will play the clip, but I don't know, Paramount might flag it, so I'm not even gonna take that risk. But when she was asked if she had anything to say, she said, I guess there is a method to my madness. So that was a cute little line that she wanted. She got the Anastasia Beverly Hills thing. Girl, speaking of which, what happened to Georgina's face? She needs to lay off that. Like literally, I don't know what she's injected, but she don't even look human anymore. But anyway, so I just want to know in regards to all this, congratulations to all the people that competed on this season. Congratulations to our winner. Congratulations to Joey J, because I'm sure her career is going to blow up after. It is funny how they had your final two girls on last week's episode of Roscoe's, but I definitely want to hear from you all. Are you glad that Crystal won this season? Are you surprised how far Joey made it in the Disco Smackdown? And were you disappointed with some of the Queen's low energy performances? So I definitely want to hear from y'all. And also, I had asked this question, but I saw like Onyx responding over on my Patreon. I want to hear from y'all. What other Drag Race shows do you think I should start watching and basically responding to as I'm watching it? I know you did say the Latina Royale one, and I think also the the other one with Michelle Visage that's supposed to be coming out. What is it? Down Under versus the World. So yeah, I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right, so now let's get to y'all comments. Do. I like Andy Cohen. Like Andy Cohen said it best, he moved to a city that never sleeps, so everybody judges us partying all night long on work night, but we're known as a city that never sleeps. That's what I said. Like you can stay out all night and do what you gotta, and he's an artist, he's a performer. So Frankie is out here doing Broadway. If he wants to go out afterwards and hang out, then why not? As look, I go to sleep late at night too. Like a lot of times I don't go to sleep until like 3 in the morning and I'll be up by like 7. So I've just been wired like that. And yeah, New York is not for people who sleep, in the words of Madonna. Like Madonna says, Los Angeles is for people who sleep. But the funny thing is, it's weird. In LA, the days feel like you can get so much done because it's a 3-hour delay, whereas in New York, everything feels like it's longer, it's later. But yeah, if you're in LA, I definitely felt like Oh, you can get so much done. I'm like, damn it, it's still early. And there be times I'm like, yeah, the clubs close at 2 in the morning, and I was not that upset. And I think it's because when the clubs were closed, it still felt kind of early. Crystal one, fork found in kitchen. You stupid. I got such a bad taste in my mouth for Jasmine. Oh yeah, she was. Oh, if y'all saw my reaction, oh, I was a bitch in my responses. But it is what it is. For Jasmine, after this season, a lot of the trans girls on this show forget that they're not that they're bricky. I love cheerleading, and Jasmine was great at it. But girl, oh, you saying Jasmine was a brick? Your soul been clocked, Miss Honey. I never heard the Barbra Streisand or Cheryl song before this, and I'm obsessed with the former. Oh yeah, that Barbra Streisand song was everything. I always love to hear Donna Summer on the show, especially, and they've done the Donna Summer. That I mean that was it the Diana Ross the Boss. We've heard them do that. They've done that song before on the show. Trump said he want NBC and ABC to be put. Oh, shut the fuck up. First of all, he's just mad because they're no longer, dealing with his BS. And I think we need more media to stand up there and be like, you know what? We're not going to sit up in here and just let you ramble and say a bunch of BS on your networks. Go over there and go start a network on Live Social if you want to stream whatever you got to say, or have them set up a YouTube page. And you get up in there and spread your lies. I have your little 20,000 people who's left of MAGA sit up there and absorb your foolishness. NBC aired it in full on their streaming channel, NBC News Now, and ABC aired it on ABC Radio, so they still aired it. But they said we're not going to air, but I guess they're saying like, who's actually listening to ABC Radio? It was neither going to be Crystal. It was either going to be Crystal winning with 4 total wins or Joey winning with 0 wins. I would have loved to see Joey win, but it's whatever. I don't have to think about this show until 2027. Okay, when we get the new season. He no longer needs exposure. I think people need to just, not give him stop entertaining his stop entertaining his buffoonery. The most blah all-star season yet. They need a format. At this point, I don't even know what they could do in regards to all-stars because it's like the Rated Queen was just annoying. I don't think they need a Rated Queen for this. Uh yeah, Drag Race is becoming stale. I still stick it out, but it's becoming stale. Speaking of which, I'm thinking, should I start doing? No, I don't know if I even care enough. I was thinking, should I do watch parties of Project Runway? I already know who they eliminated from Drag Race already. They ain't even make it past episode 1. So I'm like, do I care enough? No, because I probably won't stick it out. I think I've kind of outgrown Project Runway. Y'all was over here trying to pull stunts and shows to get people to watch Project Runway. And y'all, I'm thinking by putting Drag Race girls on the show, that was going to be enough. I heard there's only going to be 2 brackets for All Stars 12 with 6 queens in each bracket. The most recent winners of All Stars all seems predetermined, so it feels like a pointless watch to end. Maybe it works best if they just do 2 brackets, 6 queens. You have 2 of but it never seemed like the episodes is getting shorter. Because I had 12 episodes this season, right? Yeah, 12 episodes. So now we're going to do 9? Yeah, a mess. Well, shout out to Carmelo Anthony. He got what he wanted, a new jury, all black, and a judge that's black. So he's got approved for a new trial, and it's finally a jury of his peers. I do feel like, look, we should have just mixed it up. I don't like the idea they had an all-white cast. Like, you should pick people that could be that actually supposed to do what they do when they show up in a courtroom, when you're supposed to be on a jury, which is you have to be unbiased. You listen to the evidence and you come to a determination whether or not they're guilty or not guilty based on the evidence in hand, and not using your biases to, convict someone. I just want to see what the racist dad have, because he had a whole lot to say on Fox News and all them other places. Have you seen the rumored All-Star? I've heard little bits here and there. I know they had Laganja. That's how I knew it was a lie. They had Laganja as part of the girls of All-Stars. So I know for a fact Laganja is not on this season. So Um, and it keeps changing. So we'll see how it all turns out. Did they start filming again? And you said Laura Roach, I guess, hasn't forgotten that what the drag race girl did, made sure she was the first to go. Laura Roach is get dragged. Are you talking about Plain Jane? You said doing the math. Rumors are saying each bracket would get 4 episodes, and that would give us one more semifinal episode. Oh, so they're doing 4 episodes instead of 3. Well, I guess because maybe they're doing this because people were bitching that the first bracket is 2 hours. So we get 2 episodes and we don't really spend enough time with the queens. So I definitely think that that would basically work much better. If they do still do the bracket thing, you could have 4 episodes with each bracket. And so you have we get 2 episodes for the first one. Speaking of which, and I meant to say this earlier, Drag Race, I need y'all to finally come to Paramount Plus. The new season of The Challenge, they finally moved it over to Paramount Plus. I'm looking forward to that. I might actually do viewing parties of that on my channel. I'm gonna start watching the new season because Johnny Bananas and Cara Maria, all of them is on there, and I love the show. So I might actually start doing a viewing of that and just reacting because I love the challenge. But anyway, and it's basically the what is it, Cutthroat, the same format that Johnny Bananas actually won for his season when he did Sarah Dirty. So they brought that back. They should have just called it season 2 with part Cutthroats 2 or something. They're just calling the Cutthroats. They probably think people forgot about that season. But anyway, so you know, um, I definitely think that whole thing where if they give an extra episode instead of doing 3, they do 4. So we get to focus on the girls more. We get 2 episodes, and you get an episode each week. So we get to spend a little more time with those girls. And then the week after, it's like 4 more episodes plus the semifinal episode. So we'll see. Plain Jane is a troll that finally left the keyboard behind to go on reality TV. In a way, but and the funny thing is, she is a troll, and she don't be lasting long on a lot of her shows. She went home early on House of Villains. You went home early again on Project Runway. So it was like it'd be nice if your actions backed up your mouth, but it don't. I don't really know what to think about the whole Nolan Wells thing. I don't know. There's a lot of inconsistencies on people, on his friends or whatever. I do feel like if you have a friend, regardless of their race, you don't leave them behind in certain situations. There was a recent video I saw where there was a black kid that was left in the water by his white friends, and there was a white family that was on a canoe. And the boy was like, "I can't swim, whatever." And his friends was making monkey noises, and they let him hold on to their boat while they got him from point A to point B. Meanwhile, they filming the whole damn thing. And so I always find that shit annoying. But I do feel like with them filming it, it does open up a conversation. And shout out to all the white people that have been out on social media, because I've been seeing a couple of the videos who've been talking about, yes, you need to talk to your white children about protecting their black friends. Because we see that there's a lot of that has been happening where y'all just been not protecting your black friends. And it's unfortunate that a lot of stuff like this has been happening where a lot of black friends have been getting killed out here, and white people getting away with it, immediately lawyering up. Has got me suspicious. So I've been watching a lot of the Don Lemon videos in regards to them talking about this, and Funky Dineva was on there the other day. That was a good episode. I do feel bad for Q because Q was up there looking like she was about to fall apart. And literally, I definitely felt bad. I feel bad for. I don't feel bad for Plain. She just got divorced from her partner of 7 years, probably after her original run on Drag Race. So it's like you're dealing with a lot. You got eliminated you got chopped from the show. Y'all was trying to be messy by having Jeffrey on the show and trying to get Alexis Mateo on the show, and that's Alexis' ex. I was talking to a friend of mine on earlier about this. He was gagging. He was like, that's Alexis' ex." I said, "Uh-huh." Jeffrey, who make the outfits for the Drag Race girls, used to date Alexis Mateo, who's going to be on Latina Royale. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I do feel bad for Q, and the fact that she got screwed over a lot with this whole situation. But I also don't like the fact of Project Runway using the Drag Race girls for clout. But anyway, all right, y'all. So we are finally done with today's show. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I'll be back next week with a brand new episode because I'm going to be busy this weekend. I think I'm working Bon Jovi on Sunday, and tomorrow I'm doing WWE. So yeah, wrestling is tomorrow. I gotta be at work early for that one because that's a 4:30 call time. So love you all for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like, subscribe, smash the notification bell, hit the hype button, all that good stuff. Love you for watching. Thank you for your continued support. Have a wonderful weekend. Try to stay cool because I know these heat waves is just crazy out here in these damn streets. And plus the air quality, I know it's expanded beyond New York, but wherever you're at and the air quality is affected by that wildfire that was going on in Canada, hopefully I could breathe out here because I could barely breathe for the past couple of days. So love you all for watching. Thank you for your continued support. And until next time, ciao, darlings.